Greetings! It is I, the Harbinger of Destruction, the Dragon of the Abyss, the Devourer of Destiny, the Executioner of Fate. How many titles does this guy have? Dreadscape Gaming. We're going to be playing Diablo IV today. I'm going to be playing my seasonal solo self-found character, which is my Storm Werewolf Druid. And we're going to play for a bit. I'm going to yap a little bit. Next week, special week, stream-wise, we're going to be doing a theme week. I haven't done a theme week on this channel in a very long time. I think the last time I did it was Godzilla Day. So next week I'm going to be playing old video games based on cartoon series from the early 90s. Should be interesting. Some of them I know how to speedrun. Some of them I've forgotten how to speedrun them. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. Because I'm kind of like in a bit of a drought in terms of games. Like, at the moment, I don't really feel like playing a whole bunch of Diablo 4. Also, next week's shorter. I won't be streaming Friday of next week, but I will be streaming tomorrow, which is something that I don't normally do. I'll stream tomorrow, and I'll be gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually I'm not streaming on weekends of next week anyway. So that's the plan for that. But let's get into Diablo 4, shall we? We'll go back into Malachor. Today's basically going to be a regular grind session day. So there's nothing really we're going to be doing too amazing. I did prep a little bit off of stream so that I could cut out some of like the busy work that we have to do. So for like example, today I did farm a couple of things for keys. I do have a couple of sparks. Ideally, when we get into the actual game, I'll show you what I generally want to upgrade before the season's over for this particular character. So for example, we still have a bit of work to do, right? Not a lot, but I want a Tilbolt's Will. I need this as a mythic ancestral unique. The only other thing I need is a Dirge of Arda as a mythic unique as well. In order to do this, we have to roll pants and earthings. Honestly, these are the two hardest items to get like maxed out and geared up. I would even sell for, at this point, Ancestral Ring, but we haven't really gotten lucky with it. If I have enough sparks, I'll try to roll a couple of the rings that I have here that I honestly don't need, because none of them are useful for this particular build. So like we can try here if I have enough sparks. I only have enough to do one. Let's hope. Basically gave me... I've never even seen this. So I think it's that, is it not? No, this is something completely different that I have not seen yet. Well, it's going into the box of uselessness now. That's the problem, is we haven't been able to roll that ring. It's so hard to get it, too. Alright, so let's put these rings back. I'm gonna kind of divvy it up. There is a double experience boost going on for the concurrent event, as well as you get double gold. So the way we'll do that, in particular, is we'll just try to do a lot of war plans, because war plans give you the most. We're going to try to stay away from anything that's not really like a fun game activity to do today, because I just want to get like a lot of fast, efficient... When we get to hour 2, I'll do like some boss farming, for those of you who are curious about that. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2. Get rid of this stuff. Wrong side. Junk it over here. Junk the charms. Any junk seals we can get rid of. The rest of the stuff we'll hold on to for now. It's not super significant to what we're trying to accomplish. Let's go do a nightmare dungeon. And we'll level up. I'm hoping... The objective today is at least to get 2 or 3 level ups. Our Paragon board is pretty optimized at the moment, so we should be good in that retrospect as well. We should do a significant amount of damage. I have the glyphs at a comfortable level. I'll do it at Torment 9 to start with, just because I want to get the stuff done in a fast and efficient manner, but I believe we can already clear through Torment 10 difficulty pretty comfortably. I have Torment 11 unlocked, but it's still kind of a while, again, because we're not super high level yet. So again, with Diablo 4 in particular, when you're playing through the game, you want to do things at a Torment level in which you can just like farm fast, right? Because if you're not farming super fast and efficiently, there's really no point to be doing it, because you're just wasting run rotations. It's more important to get runs done super fast so you can get a bunch of loot, as opposed to doing a very long run for something and only getting very little good rare items. So It's about quality as opposed to so much quantity in this one particular retrospect. So you just want to do it. Again, if I could clear through things a little bit quicker on the higher ones, we would do that. But yet, we're not just there yet, again, because we're only like Tournament 218. So you want to, you know, min-max your stuff as best as possible. Okay, good. But it's, everybody going to be having for dinner today? I am going to be having a chicken sandwich with some soup from Panera's. I've been trying to eat a bit healthier, I have mentioned it, but I didn't have time really to make anything. And because I have like a couple of other things going on, it was probably better to just focus having a sandwich. I mean, Panera's at least is a little bit healthier than if I were to like jump into McDonald's or eat a whole bunch of Chipotle. So, I'm gonna be getting a tomato and basil soup, as well as a Chipotle chicken sandwich. Because it's pulled chicken, you know, white meat chicken. So it's better than if I went into like a McDonald's, which I don't like McDonald's. I haven't liked McDonald's in years. I find McDonald's kind of gross. Or if I walked into like a, I don't know, Wendy's and got in something that's a bit more processed in terms of like chicken sandwiches, if you get what I'm saying. So that's basically why I kind of opted for. I had a pizza yesterday. It was pretty decent. But the one thing is, like, I'm a big fan of, like, pepperoni slices, as well as, like, sausage slices. And the thing is, like, there's this one pizzeria around me that has really good pepperoni slices, but then it's, like, utterly terrible when it comes to their sausage slices. And then there's a different pizzeria near me that their pepperoni pizza is terrible, but they have great sausage slices. If I could take both pizzerias and merge them into one, so I could get the pepperoni, the slices that I like from one, and get the sausage that I like from another one, I would do that. You know? I'm probably one of the few New Yorkers that will tell you that New York pizza is kind of mid. I know that's probably going to cause a lot of people to get very angry at me, but I've had Chicago-style pizza, and I think personally, this is the only time Chicago will ever get a win, in my opinion. I feel like Chicago pizza is way better than New York pizza. I prefer deep dish pizzas and stuff. Like, if I had to rate, like, pizza in general, like, if we're talking about pizza chains, I would say number 5 for me would probably be Domino's. I really don't like Domino's pizza. Nistrad loves Domino's pizza, but it's not my cup of tea. I feel like every time I'm eating Domino's pizza, it's just like eating cardboard. I've never really had a Domino's pizza in like years. We're talking at least maybe 10, 12 years at this point that I've actually liked. Then on top of that, hold on, I'm trying to figure out where we have to go in this nightmare dungeon because it's a little bit thing. How are these guys doing stream? According to my side, you look fine. OBS seems to be lagging a little bit. Don't tell me Dreadknights to talk to the hand. That's rude. That's mean. I was just asking a question. How dare you tell me to talk to the hand, Dreadknights? On my end, it looks like you're fine anyway. Okay. Let's do that. Nice. Nice, nice. Good rotation. Good rotation. Let's kind of reset here. We should be fine. Nice. Go for here. Just a fun day of farming. I like to kind of wrap up the week with a dungeon crawler every once in a while, just because I can kind of turn my brain off and I can yap. So yeah, getting back to the pizza conversation though, because I know I'm trying to check to make sure you guys are all okay. Top 5, bottom 5 for me would be Domino's. I don't like it. Nistrad enjoys it. I feel like it tastes like cardboard. I haven't had Domino's pizza that was good in years. Number 4, I would have to say, have any of you ever had from an establishment called Bravo Pizza? I think Bravo Pizza is kind of mid. There's some people in my area that love it and swear by it. I don't particularly care for it. Then I would say number 3 for me would be Papa John's. I think Papa John's is a very good pizza restaurant establishment, but I don't think that it is necessarily good. You know, I think it's a little bit overpriced for pizza, particularly in this economy. Shaq could fix that if he wanted to, but he doesn't really want to, it seems, at the moment. Then I would say probably number 2 for pizza for me would be Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is probably my second favorite pizza. The only problem with that is in my particular area, the Pizza Hut has a tendency to be hit or miss. So sometimes you order a lot of Pizza Hut and it's really, really good and phenomenal. And then there's other times where you get it and it's like either they undercook the pizza or they overcook the toppings or they do something else of that nature. And it becomes a bit underwhelming to say the least. Then from there, we're going to remove the affixes from this so that we can turn this into a white item. So then maybe I can try to roll it to see if I could get a Tybalt's Will. It's an ancestral legendary version of it. You should have some resources that we should be able to do that. Storm's Companion. Yeah. I don't need any more of these. I'm gonna put it in the box though, because I'll try to roll it for a Tybalt's Will Mythic, even though that's like trying to hit the lottery at that point. So number 2 at pizza would be almost certainly at this point Pizza Hut. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's hit and miss. It's one of those things where sometimes it can be amazing, sometimes it can be devastating. Particularly for pizza, I love to get like meat lovers pizza, even though they put too many toppings, but usually my go-to is pepper and sausage for that. Then on top of pepper and sausage, sometimes I enjoy just like pepperoni or the pork topping from Pizza Hut. Outside of pizza, my number 1 all-time favorite pizza of all time would be Little Caesars pizza. Little Caesars pizza is probably the best pizza that you can get in the current economy. It's just good. It's yummy. It never tastes bad. $5 hot and ready pizzas are pretty good. The pretzel crust pizza is pretty good. The one where they have like some cheese filling in the middle. I'm not talking about like the cheese filling that's just like stuffed crust pizza. I'm talking about the type that's like a filled crust that's like manicotti, I guess you would try to, or ricotta cheese in it. That one was pretty good. They had a while back like for the Batman movie, I think it was, a Batman pizza where you could just get like a pizza that's crust is like filled with like ricotta cheese, and I really liked that pizza for a while, but it wasn't around for a very long time. It was like when the Batman promotion was. And then I love like their crazy bread. Their wings are, you know, their stuff that they have, the side dishes are pretty good. It's just an overall solid pizza, and it's good like budget pizza. I'm actually heartbroken because I used to have years and years ago in my area a Little Caesars pizza, and they went out of business. They had opened up. I ate from them like maybe 2 or 3 times, and like that was really my first exposure truly to Little Caesars pizza. And what ended up happening was it closed like after a month, because I guess like people in my neighborhood are kind of like snobs, so they don't really like cheap pizza. They prefer like the snooty type of very expensive pizzeria pizza, and it basically just cost me a Little Caesar, so I never got to have it anymore. Now like the only time I was ever able to get it was when I used to visit a buddy of mine that lived in a different borough, Brooklyn, and we would used to go to the Little Caesars in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And it's funny because that Little Caesars, because Bed-Stuy, for those of you who don't know, was like a very, back in the day, not anymore, was a very bad neighborhood in Brooklyn, where a lot of people would get shot. There was a lot of gang violence, there was a lot of other stuff. And then they cleaned up Bed-Stuys. And ironically, the Little Caesars that I used to go to with a friend of mine that I used to visit over there, had like bulletproof glass because it had been held up a couple of times, which is something you don't really see. That's how you know a neighborhood's bad, when there's like bulletproof glass windows for the Little Caesar. And this was visiting a friend of mine that used to live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So ironically, now if you go to that same area in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Little Caesars is no longer there. There's no longer bulletproof glass. The whole area has been gentrified, and now there's a Starbucks there. The last time I passed through there and I realized like there wasn't a Little Caesars there anymore, I had like a cultural shock because I hadn't gone to that neighborhood in a very long time. I was like, wait, there's a whole bunch of like college students that you would see from NYU and stuff there. It was like completely, the neighborhood completely changed. Wow. I didn't even fight the boss, but that's fine. Apparently we just did passive damage, so... Like, it was a culture shock to me that they had cleaned up the neighborhood, which is good. I think it's kind of good that neighborhoods become clean and more safe to live in. And Bed-Stuy always had, like, a really bad rap. And my friends used to tell me stories of, like, literally watching people get shot on their doorsteps. I used to go visit them. Red was way too brave back in the day. But Little Caesars, I used to get pizza from there because when mine closed, it was like, well, what are we gonna do? And, you know, that was all we could. So, unfortunately, you know, that one closed, and now Dread can't get Little Caesars pizza anywhere because there's none in my area. It's like another fast food chain of mine that I really liked was White Castles, and I didn't have White Castles till my 20s. Because there was, like, no White Castles, then they opened one somewhat relatively close to me. It was near Penn Station. Anybody that ever went to, like, the Jacob Javits Center conventions, you would know that you used to go to the anime convention centers, and then after you got done with the anime convention center area, like with the anime cons, you would go to the White Castle, so it was on 8th Avenue. I think it was, like, close to Penn Station. That's why I say I don't want to exactly say the general area, but if you know, you know. And that was great. And that was like my first exposure to them. They're called murder burgers for a reason. Like, you eat a whole bunch of them, the crave case and like the chicken rings and stuff, and then you get like horribly sick later on. You get the worst cases of diarrhea. I kid you not. This was before like Cyclospora bacteria was around. There was White Castles giving people murder burger syndrome. I used to enjoy that, and then they closed it, and then like the closest one was all the way up in Harlem. I don't live in Harlem. So I really didn't visit that area, because back then that area was very similar, like Bed-Stuy. It was kind of hard. Now it's gentrified too, so it's like everything has been changing. It's so crazy. Like, everything, like, they've tried a lot to clean up the neighborhoods. Some people say that they're angry over that because it's like, it makes the areas, like, more... They try to price out urban people, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's even politically correct to say in this day and age. So it's like, it's fascinating from one standpoint. We don't really need to do anything here. Okay, let's continue with our war plans. We'll do another Nightmare Dungeon. So yeah, you know, the neighborhoods are changing, but White Castles I used to get there, and then I had a friend that used to drive. Dread doesn't drive cars. People always usually drive me around. I don't drive, which is, some people are shocked by that, but I've never really had a need to, because I always have lived in metropolises that I always have, like, mass transit. So, like, here, particularly where I am, NYC, like, there's no real reason for you to drive, because it's so freaking expensive. Like, good luck finding parking, first of all. On top of, like, finding parking, you have to deal with, like, the gas prices, and the gas prices are insane right now because of everything that's obviously going on in the world. Because we have a very dumb idiot running the country. I'm sorry for anybody who believes in him, but, you know, I have my sentiments. I won't get political here for all of them. But yeah, so there's like no real point. On top of that, here where I am, we have something that's good for the environment called congestion pricing. So like, to own a car and drive in my particular vicinity, you get charged to drive in this area a fee, because they're trying to reduce the amount of traffic that's in the area, which is great for me because like, I don't have to hear a lot of loud honking horns in cars, which I used to about 10 years ago. Maybe even like 4 or 5 years ago. Anybody that's been a long time viewer of this channel, you might remember when I used to make content and you would hear like non-stop cars honking in this area when I was trying to do things. That was before congestion pricing, and that used to be kind of a nuisance because you really would hate to see that. And then it was also kind of annoying because like every once in a while, like the UN would have a convention and stuff, and because it's in the general vicinity of where like I reside, there would be like crazy traffic to the point like there's a supermarket near me and I couldn't even cross the street to get to the supermarket because of the UN convention, and there was like non-stop gridlock and traffic and people were like parking their cars. That's the one thing that always annoys me about Like, it's the one thing that's always kind of pissed me off about New York City is that, like, drivers will always see that they can't beat the traffic light and that there's a whole bunch of traffic, and then they will be in the middle of the street in between, like, the intersections and the crossroads to the point where, like, the pedestrians can't freaking walk. I don't know if it's possible to have, like, pedestrian rage, but, like, when it comes to cars and stuff, like, and everybody, probably if you've seen this in the movies, and I'll tell this to people who don't know this, it's true about, like, New York City taxis are some of the worst drivers in the world, and some of the most, like, dangerous drivers. I'm not going to do that event because it's a waste of time. So, a lot of the time, like, taxis will not obey the traffic laws, and they will swerve. There have been many times where I'm just walking and minding my own business and following the traffic rules and the lights and stuff, that cars have, like, taxis in particular, have come and swerved and almost, like, have sent me to the Shadow Realm because they don't obey. Like, man. I mean, to the credit, New York has tried to improve things. They have put more, like, stop signs. They have had bike lanes, which I feel a certain way about them. I think it's good that there are bike lanes. I think it's good that they're trying to promote healthy living and make people try to not use cars. That's kind of what congestion pricing in this area is supposed to do, that you take your bike to that area and stuff. But the thing that always kind of upsets me is that people here in NYC do not use the bike lanes, even though they have them, and they spent a whole bunch of money in the city to get people to use the bike lanes. And we have stuff like City Bike, where you can use City Bike, and you can swipe a card, and you can rent a bike if you can't afford a bike. But I think it's pretty expensive that way, too, to be honest with you. And what has ended up happening, majority of the time, the bike lanes don't get used. When they do get used, the bikers themselves do not obey the traffic signs, because we had, like, spent tons of money in the city to, like, actually give them bike signals, you know, the bike, like, what are they? The bike lights, you know, traffic stop signs and stuff. And they don't use it. They don't use it. So there are times like I'm going to a supermarket, or I have to go to do some, you know, business, and I have to step outside and touch concrete. Tread touches concrete? What the hell? Yeah. And like I'll have the light and the right of way, and the bicycles in the bike lane will not pay attention. They won't look at the light, and they will try to, like, trample you and stuff. Have you ever been clipped by a bike and get, like, a cut? Like, that hurts. I haven't unfortunately had it happen to me, but I have friends that I've walked with and it's happened to. And it's, like, I've seen also, like, people in the bike lane not obey, like, the actual bike lane rules. And, like, a car will come because they don't want to really, and they're in a rush, and the car will, like, open the door, and they'll literally go flying and stuff. I've seen it so many times happen in the city that it's, like, just crazy, man. It's just, like, all because they don't obey it. So it's like, what's the purpose of it if we're not going to use it, man? Like, use it. If it's there, use it and obey it. Like, safety first, right? So, sometimes I see some crazy stuff here. Like, I'll tell you a story. I've mentioned this before many times on the channel. I spent a lot of my formative years in Chinatown Fair. Because there was a card shop by the name of WalkQ. Now, WalkQ is a place that you used to go to buy, like, models and stuff, but they sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards back when, like, Yu-Gi-Oh was, like, super popular. And in WalkQ is how I met a person that was, well, multiple people from Chinatown Arcade Fair. They actually were the people that gave tokens and stuff. One of them was a big dude. Shout out to him. I don't know where he is. I hope he's doing very well. By name of, I would just say his first name, Yuri. Yuri was like a big bestie of mine. And he worked in Chinatown Fair. He was like the guy that gave out tokens and stuff. And through him, I met Justin Wong, who used to kick my ass in the arcade. Before he was playing the fun and the refunds, he was kicking everybody's ass there. Tried curse. That's fine. It's a Friday stream. I'm allowed to curse a little bit. I met Flash G, aka John. I won't say the last name. Justin Wong is popular and famous, so that's not a big deal. It's not like and there were like a lot of other people from there. Derek, Val. Like, that was like the crew of people I used to hang out with back then. The Spear Hunter used to go there before she became the Spear Hunter. Long Island Joe used to go quite a bit there. So it was very fun because, like, we used to go to Waku. We used to play card games every Friday night. After we finished playing Yu-Gi-Oh, we would go. Oh, I'm going for the night. I was trying to figure out what exactly I was doing because I'm, like, reminiscing about the past now. And we would go and play card games. And after the card games, we would go to Chinatown Fair. And we had a big friend group at that point. There were like 30 of us back then. And some of us in the arcade would break off into different sections. So I would go to like the Dead or Alive 2 machine. I had friends that would go to the DDR machine. I would have friends that would go to the SNK machines because they were really obsessed with like the King of Fighters. Obviously, there was the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 machine back then. So people would go to challenge Justin because they wanted to be like the king of the mountain there and stuff. And it never worked out for them. I knew Peter, how we used to just call him Chinese Peter. And he was the guy that owned La La La. There was a nerd card shop. It was very small. You couldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh there, but he sold like Yu-Gi-Oh card games and stuff. And Chinese Peter was like great as SNK games and stuff. And that was like my Friday nights for a lot of like 2007, going all the way to like Chinatown Fair, the original one, closed. So it's kind of crazy because there is probably a very high chance that if anybody, I don't know how many Dreadknights even have ever gone to Chinatown Fair, but if you went from like 2007, the when the original one closed, not the one now that's more like a Chuck E. Cheese, chances are you knew me. Chances are you've run into me quite a few times because I used to hang around with a lot of the big, not the big guys particularly, but like a lot of the famous people from there before they really became famous. Like, I don't know, this is a guy that a lot of people love to hate. There's a guy by the name of Triforce. He is in the Guinness Book of World Records. He wasn't a friend of mine. I want to preface this, but I knew of him. He tried very hard to get a Yu-Gi-Oh division way back in the day. This is kind of funny because before I was Dread, Triforce was trying very hard to recruit Yu-Gi-Oh players because he wanted like a subdivision of Yu-Gi-Oh players for like pro Yu-Gi-Oh playing. And I guess it's flattering and kind of a testament to what I used to be able to do in a lot of those games, that he tried to recruit me. And this is a guy that's like in the Guinness Book of World Records, but I said no. Was that really a good thing for me? I don't know. That's a good question. But it was kind of funny because I could have joined as in the Yu-Gi-Oh division he was trying to, and I said no. Because the thing about me back in the day was I don't want to toot my horn. This is not trying to flex and stuff, but I was considered one of the 4 strongest Yu-Gi-Oh players in Chinatown. There was Brian. There was Will. There were 2 Wills, by the way. And then there was one other person I can't mention because they got super famous in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there was me. So I mean, to my credit, I was one of the strongest. I was the one that learned the most from a lot of those people there. I guess you could say they were like my Yu-Gi-Oh! Senpais. And then they all retired, and I went on to play Yu-Gi-Oh! With a card game at a little place by the name of Neutral Ground. Why am I telling you all this stuff, guys? Because I want some of you to get to know me, I guess, is the best way. And because remember, Dread is not probably going to be on YouTube too much longer. So I did Yu-Gi-Oh! At a card shop / a really big store, as well as Magic the Gathering, or a couple other card games, Pokemon TCG and stuff, at a place called Neutral Ground. Neutral Ground was considered like the big premier card game place in all of New York City. I eventually became a judge there, and I used to judge for Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, regionals, and stuff. So you ever went to Neutral Ground, and you heard like, Round 1 pairings are up now! Or if you ever heard somebody say, I'm gonna have to give you a game loss, chances are you knew me from Neutral Ground. It's kind of crazy, I will say. And I've said this before, I had a very blessed life in the sense that I got to do a lot of really cool things in terms of gaming and card games, thanks to Chinatown Fair. I don't think I would have been able to do as many things as I was able to, which on top of that was a pretty fun time in convention journalism as well as being an entertainment journalist, where I covered like video games for a while, had it not been for my time at Chinatown Fair Arcade. Because I really got to meet a lot of people, I got to meet a lot of contacts, I got to meet people from Neutral Ground. That opened the doors so that I was able to meet people like Julia Heidberg, who is the head judge of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Division in TCG. I got to meet Kevin Tewart, who, you know, was like the head of Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. And I would have not been able to do those things had I not been playing card games and playing at the arcade at Chinatown Fair. So I owe a lot to Chinatown Fair. You know, did I ever blow up as big as Justin Wong? No, but I had a pretty good stint doing stuff. I still every once in a while will do stuff too. I had a really good stint with speedrunning, which I have talked about. I do have concurrently 2 records, not 1, 2 records. So I'm happy about that stuff. So I was very blessed with that. That's why gaming has always been a big passion of mine. Which then sometimes it's kind of difficult when I'm doing it in a content creation sphere. Because, you know, whenever you do content, a lot of people are like, Dread playing Diablo IV, this is a terrible game and stuff. And would prefer maybe if I'm playing like a whole bunch of friend swap games and other things. And the thing about it is, like, I really enjoy certain particular styles of games. And that's like really what I love to do. And, you know, there's not too many people who are, I don't know how's the best way. It's like, it's hard because, like, if I do the stuff that I'd like to do, it's probably not going to be the stuff that a lot of people would be interested in watching, if you get what I'm saying. Because the best way I could put it is, like, you know, when you stream games, a lot of people just want you to stream whatever the flavor of the month is, and I don't really like to do that. I like to play the games that I like to play, you know? So I like to play, you know, stuff that I enjoy. I love playing dungeon crawlers. I love playing, you know, some classic old school games. I like to play fighting games. I don't play fighting games on the channel, though, ironically. But you would figure I would play more fighting games on the channel, considering I have a long, deep-rooted history with fighting games, you know? I'm not terrible at them. I can kick everybody's behind in Dead or Alive 2. I love Dead or Alive 2. You know, but there's a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff in that retrospect, you know? And I guess, you know, one of the other things too is just like, I'm trying for the last like bit of the channel stuff on YouTube to just like play games that I enjoy playing, if that makes sense, you know. And that's the other thing too, like a lot of people don't realize this, but like a lot of the stuff I've done I wouldn't have been able to do with gaming, which is why I'm always so passionate about gaming, which is why like whenever like I see people that are really like super passionate about gaming and really truly enjoy it, I love to see that, because like, you know, you don't really see too many people do that, particularly, like, and this is not friend shake, this is just, like, a generalization, like, you see a lot of people that are making content, but they make content because that's, like, part of the job, right? Now, I make content not really because it's part of my job, because, I mean, I could just go play in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament and top, or I could go and play, you know what, do a speedrun and get paid to do the speedrun and stuff. I don't do it for stuff of that nature. I do it because I really enjoy doing it. So that's why, like, I always sometimes on the channel will take a hit. And I really enjoy it, because it's like just sometimes when you can kind of tell when people really, really enjoy the stuff that they do. They really enjoy games because they talk about, like, damage rotations. And they talk about, like, you know, frames and hitboxes, or they try to speedrun things and stuff. And I don't want to say it's everybody, because it's not, and this is just generalization, but there's sometimes when I'll throw up a stream, like, I'll throw up a stream of Flesh Tubers, right? And you'll see them playing, like, a game like Peak, right? But they're not really playing Peak because they enjoy Peak, or they're just playing it because that's, like, the flavor of the month and that's what's popular, right? Or you'll see people that will play, I don't know, Monster Hunter, because it's like, let me not use Monster Hunter, I don't want to use, like, we'll say Path of Exile 2, right? And there'll be people who play Path of Exile 2, but they play Path of Exile 2 because it's like a sponsorship stream. And it's not because they really want to play the game, or that they have enjoyment playing the game, you know? So it's hard for me to vibe because I'm not like that. I just like gravitate to people that just love video games because I can talk about video games and dumb stuff of what's the most proper route to do this. And anybody that's ever met me or I've ever encountered me on their stream, I've seen, like, if you ask a question, I have use. I'm basically a well of information when it comes to about just any video game because I've played so many freaking video games over the years, Dreadknights, so many. Like, when I say I play everything, that's not really a joke. I really do just play everything, because I've played games because either I've done testing for said games, or obviously I have a lot of friends that I have played that are way more proficient at the games in subject than I am, or I've, you know, speedrun one or two of them. So there's that stuff. I'm not, and when I say this stuff, I don't ever say this, keep this in mind, as like a place of arrogance, or as a flex, or anything. I just say it to kind of shed some light on me, you know, so that people can get a better handling of who Dread is. Like I said, I've never judged anybody ever in my life based on their skill level in video games. I'm not that type of person. I don't do that. You can be a casual player. I enjoy hanging around with casual gamers because it shows me I get to experience your enjoyment in video games that I can never have anymore. Because when I started playing video games competitively and really just like locking in and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, I can't look at games the same way ever again, because I think of it from a competitive standpoint as to how can I do this fast? How can I do this efficiently? So whenever I watch like regular people who are casual gamers do it, I get to experience video games from your viewpoint, which is something I can never do again. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Screw it. Screw it. I got an example. Narissa Ravencroft was playing Ocarina of Time. It's not taboo for me to say this. I watched Narissa and Ravencroft. That's not a shock to anybody. You know, Narissa is a cool peeps. And Narissa was playing Ocarina of Time. I got to experience Ocarina of Time from their perspective, which was interesting because their only experience from the game was through their childhood where they never got to beat it. So I got to watch them experience it for the first time and beat the game, which is something I can't experience because I've played that game so many freaking times to death that I would probably be able to do it maybe in... If I were to marathon that, I'm not planning to, so keep that in mind. I want to clarify that now. I would probably be able to do it maybe in like 2 marathon sessions, maybe even 1. So I like to see stuff like that, you know, because I get to see... I can never experience that again, right? Because I've already played through the game. So it's like always cool when you see somebody play Mario Sunshine for the first time, or you see them play Diablo IV for the first time, or you see them play the various different titles that I've played a bazillion times. Watching people play fighting games is also something that I love to see. It's like I'll watch people who have never played fighting games before that are just trying to get like a handle on it. And I always love that because it's like I get to watch them try to learn and see if they can figure out combos and, you know. I don't like, sometimes, I will say this, when some of the stronger players will like try to bully and stuff and not actually try to teach people. Because I've always kind of been one of those players when it comes to video games that you have to teach people to play fighting games, but you don't beat it into them. You show them through examples and stuff, and you try not... I don't want to say go easy on them, but you have to show them a different way. I mean, kicking their behind is great, but there's some people who can't learn fighting games that way. You know? You can't give them tough love. It's like when you're trying to teach somebody to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Like, I don't think the way to teach people to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is to kick their behind in it. Because they're not going to learn anything. They're not going to learn when to use their hand traps. They're not going to learn when they should be special summoning things. And a lot of the times, and I see this happen all the time, both with streams and both with our things, they will get upset. And they will get dissuaded, and they won't like the game because it's too overwhelming and stuff, and they never play it again. I hate when that happens with video games. Because I see it happen so many times. Like, there's a right way to teach people to play a game, and there's a wrong way to do it. And a lot of times I see, like, in streams, sometimes people just, like, do it the wrong way. I think, for example, when Street Fighter did the collab recently, I think the 2 teachers that they picked were great teachers because they gave, like, the fundamental basics. And they weren't, like, just trying to clown on the people that were their students. So I like that. Because I feel like that's kind of the way to teach. As opposed to, like, if you told any of the people who taught me to play fighting games, they'd be like, nah, you're gonna learn today. And before you know it, in a blink of an eye, you'll get your, like, butt whipped 100%. Like, they'll whip your butt, and they'll just keep whipping your butt until you learn. And either you would learn the game. This is literally how they used to teach you back in the arcade days. They would either teach you and you would learn, or if you didn't learn from it, oh, you would just basically have to quit the game. Fortunately for me, I'm not a quitter. I, like John Cena, never give up. And what ended up happening was I got very good at video games because of that. I was already pretty good at stuff because, like, for example, I have told this story before on stream. When I was growing up as a kid, I was not allowed to play video games during school session. So, like, if school was in session for a full week, I couldn't play video games. I could only play them on the weekends. So back then, a lot of the games did not have a save feature, or they were just starting to get save features, some of them. So what would end up happening was I would have to learn to speedrun very difficult video games to be able to see end credits. Because back then, the internet didn't really exist in the way that it exists now. So it's not like you could hear your favorite song from the ending of a video game by turning on YouTube. If you wanted to hear it, guess what, fam? You had to go beat that video game. And if you didn't go beat that video game, you weren't going to hear that favorite song of yours. That's just kind of the way it was back then. You know, I mean, we got eventually, like, you know, the password feature and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. You know, and then there was the save features came in, and we got memory cards and everything. But, you know, a lot of Super Nintendo games, like the very early Super Nintendo games, they didn't have the save feature, some of them. You had to just play the game and beat the game in that sitting, and then they eventually introduced it. If you didn't do that, you were cooked, you know? There's some games where it's just you beat it or you don't. So, you know, you had to learn to speedrun stuff. And that's how I kind of developed speedrunning, and then, you know, old YouTube was a very good place so you could just drop speedrunning. I have talked about this, but this is stuff I want people to know about me. Because I've been wanting to share stuff, because I don't mind it, because there's going to be a time when Dread's not going to be around, right? And I won't be able to say this stuff. So my first YouTube channel, which is not Dreadscape Gaming, as shocking as that is a channel that's pretty big and popular, ironically, where I just speed ran a whole bunch of classic video games. I did it with no commentary. And that's like my big YouTube channel. That I still do content for it. In fact, there is on one of the comments, because I played a game by the name of Transformers: The Mystery of Convoy. I am one of the people that is able to do the game in about 10 minutes on a good day. In the comments of that channel, there are people who praised me because they said I was able to do something that Game Grumps could never do. Also, to my credit, there's an old game by the name of Ghostbusters. I never owned the game really growing up. I didn't really discover this until I really got heavily into speedrunning stuff. Ghostbusters for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm the guy who discovered in the staircase that if you open the staircases, you could reset the pattern on the ghost. And on top of that, some of the doors, when you open them, give you help. Nobody knew that until I did. So that's a little bit of a fun fact about that. Maybe at some point I will play Ghostbusters. I try to not like play a lot of the stuff that I'm really good at, because A, you would figure out what my main YouTube channel is that's not Dreadscape Gaming. And then on top of that too, it would a lot of people would know what the boss's channel is, which is why I try to avoid it. But it's a very big thing. Like, it's kind of crazy how that one blew up, but I don't talk on that one at all. So, like, Dreadscape Gaming, when it started originally, started ironically on Twitch. And back then I wasn't even a VTuber. It was like 2019 when I started VTubing. But when I started, I didn't talk on my streams. I just did gameplay. And then I moved to, like, having a voice over. And I played a lot back then, Dead by Daylight. Like, I was heavy into Dead by Daylight. To the point that a lot of people that sometimes you'll see me interact with in Dead by Daylight, whenever you, like, follow me on social media and stuff, like Polyester in particular is a Fog Whisperer, or The King, or Yerv. Shout out to Yerv, hope he's doing well. I think he does more variety gaming these days. You know, these are people I met by playing Dead by Daylight on on Twitch for a very long time, you know, in 2019. And I also met, this is probably going to be very taboo to say it, the person that got me into VTubing for Dead by Daylight. Senzawa Senpai. So I knew Senzawa because she played Dead by Daylight, did a lot of Drunken Dead by Daylight, and one time, a very long time ago, I got into a shouting match in-game before I even knew who Senzawa was. Because I face camped them, and this was when I was like really trying to learn to play killer. And I was like, who the heck is this person? They're so rude. I eventually found out I was a streamer, and that's how I got into VTubing through Senzawa. Because I played against Senzawa in Dead by Daylight. And then, like, they got me into VTubing in the sense that I watched them, and they were, like, really cool peeps. That's how I got into VTubing, and then, like, decided that it was probably better, instead of just having a voice, to take a VTuber model. My VTuber model back then was way different than it is now. Way different. Like, I had a... The VTuber model was way more of an accurate representation of myself, even though this one's somewhat close. And I did that for I did that model for a while in 2019 for Twitch, and then I moved over to YouTube because I just really couldn't necessarily, what's the best way to put it? I didn't vibe with the Twitch culture scene because Twitch is way different. Like, I don't know if you've noticed this about me, anybody who's like longtime viewers and stuff. I don't really curse unless I get like really angry about something. That's how you know I'm angry. If I curse, it's like he's very upset because I don't, like, people know, like, even like if you ask Mama Dread and Sister Dread, I'll curse, but like either I'll curse because it has to be for a joke that's being told, or I just curse because I'm like really upset about something where I can't avoid cursing. That's the only time I curse. So, like, Twitch culture in a way, and this is not a knock on Twitch culture or anybody who does it. I'm not saying anything because I don't want words ever to get misconstrued. But, like, Twitch culture is a lot of, like, you know, PG-13, more mature stuff. And I grew up in a household where my mom was Catholic, so I'm not Catholic, keep that in mind, but that's why I just don't use as much strong language or stuff like that. So, like, Twitch culture was kind of, you know, where you did a little bit more risque things, per se. It's cleaned up a lot now. So I, like, moved over to YouTube, and I started doing some voiceover stuff first, or because I was, like, trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with the channel back then. This is, like, a history of Dreadscape gaming you're also getting in this channel, and how I, like, really did a lot of content. So, I was hoping that was going to be the pants that I need. Clearly it was not. So, is there one more? There we go. So what ended up happening, I started trying out with just a voice. People didn't like that for YouTube, because people on YouTube wanted a face. I opted not to give them a face presence for Dreadscape Gaming, because I already have a face presence on my main channel. The #1 channel, which is a channel with speedrunning and stuff. Because I did a couple of skits back then. I did talk about this slightly the other day, but when I started YouTube way back in the day, the first channel, not Dreadscape Gaming, we'll get back to how Dreadscape Gaming really came about in a second. I watched a lot of the Angry Video Game Nerd. Like, James Rolfe was, for all intents and purposes, I have met James many times, cold dude in real life. He's also like a filmmaker, because film was his passion. People know I've done stuff, film and television industry. This is like a lot of lore, I guess, that's being dumped today, the Dread. But, you know, he was one of my influences, so I used to do a bit of, like, skits and stuff on the YouTube channel, and then I just fell into speedrunning and stuff. So I couldn't really show my face, because I had already shown my face on the other channel, if it makes sense. So there can't really be two of the same channel, right? So I used that as an opportunity to bring over the Dreadscape Gaming VTuber model from Twitch to YouTube. And that's how I started doing YouTube as Dreadscape Gaming as a VTuber model, and then that one changed a couple of times, and I did a lot of Diablo 3 for a while. And then I got to the point, this was during the pandemic, really, when the channel was really taking off, where I basically showed and did everything that you possibly could. Are you guys with me? Let me check, because I know that there's like a little bit of a laggy-waggy here. And that's basically how I got into doing Dreadscape gaming. One second, I'm sorry about that. And that's how I got into it. You know, I pushed the VTuber model here. I did Diablo 3. It was very popular with Diablo 3. But then Diablo 3 ran out of content I could really cover. Diablo 4 didn't do too well. I played a little bit of Diablo 2 on the channel. Diablo 2 is like considered a very old game, so it's like has an itch. And then I just kind of now do a bit of variety here and there. While ironically still doing the speedrun channel for the main channel. That's why sometimes people are like, well, why don't you do more of this shred and why don't you do more of that? Honey, I have like 4 YouTube channels. I can't possibly do any more than I can, especially when like the main channel, that's the one that brings in a lot of stuff. Like, I can't, you know? Why don't you have just one channel and just focus on Dread? Because I just got to be honest with all of you, you know? Like, VTubing is one of those things where it's fun to do it, but it's kind of like hit its ceiling in a way, right? You know, there's a lot of VTubers out there, and YouTube monetization has changed significantly how it works. People have seen how much that YouTube monetization has changed in regards to a lot of things lately. Like, you've even seen people and like memberships and stuff being changed and prices adjusted. That's because of what is going on with YouTube. You know, a lot of people are going to be making a lot less money from YouTube. So if I had to put like all my eggs into one basket, realistically speaking, gonna go with the main channel versus the VTuber channel. Because the main channel has way more viewership than this one gets. Because VTubing, as pains me to say this, is an itch. This is like, Dreadscape Gaming has always been like, I'd say the backup plan, because that's not right. This has always been like the second or third channel I do. I don't want to do that. Let's reroll. Not the main channel. I know it's fascinating for people to see that, but that's really, this is the second channel, not the first one, or technically the third one. You know, so that's why I don't put as much priority on this one anymore. I used to when things were, you know, going very well with Diablo 3 and stuff, but then I realized like a lot of my viewers back then were home from the pandemic, and they're not home anymore for the pandemic. A lot of them went back to work because they were just stuck at home and they needed somebody to be their like comfy streamer that played like old stuff that they enjoyed and related to. That's just kind of how it goes, you know? So, and the reason why am I telling this, why am I sharing all this stuff with you? Because Dreadknights, this particular channel, Dreadscape Gaming, will not really be putting out content come January. I will be moving back to Twitch. I have friends over there on Twitch. There are people who twisted my arm way back in, you know, day that go back with me a lot longer. And they're like, you should really just come back to Twitch, because YouTube is just gonna F you over and you're already monetized on Twitch. So why aren't you on Twitch as opposed to trying to push YouTube? I mean, I've just loved YouTube because YouTube has been a home for 6 years on this channel, as well as a previous channel. It's like 15 years, the main channel. So I've gotten so used to doing YouTube, but YouTube is not really the way it used to be. So in January, I will be going back to Twitch exclusively for streaming. I don't think I'm going to even be putting out YouTube videos. Because the reason for that is just like, there's not, you know, with how hard monetization is going to be on YouTube right now. And I know, you know, people are like, well, it's not always about the money. Well, you know, how you think a lot of the stuff Dreadknights has been funded on this channel before through, you know, stuff with monetization through Twitch, as well as other things that I do. So it would be nice for something that I spent like 6 years on as a project to no longer like be a passion project. And we were getting close to monetization here, but now with the new changes on it, I'm not going to be able to hit that, especially with how much YouTube has changed, like how the algorithm particularly works for me, you know. And on top of that, YouTube has done something where they're concurrently like blacklisting channels, you know. So now they're blacklisting channels, and they're doing like shadow bans and stuff, and it's making it more difficult to be able to have like Dread being shown to a lot of people, Like, and sometimes, like, I even check, like, in terms of stuff that's going on, where exactly my content's being shown and to whom. And if you saw, like, where my videos are getting recommended to, like, the content is not even directly related to Diablo or VTubers. So it really, like, scratches my head quite a bit as to... So yeah, I'm moving back to Twitch in January, which is why I just kind of told you literally the whole history of my life on YouTube, basically, which was a lot, man. You know? Because, like, with the way YouTube's going now, I'm not gonna stay. I'm gonna go back to Twitch and hang out with my friends on Twitch and go back to that. And it kind of sucks too, because it's like I gotta rebuild my audience on another platform that I barely use anymore. So I'm thinking, like, maybe I'm gonna start trying to ease Twitch into the mix by doing restreaming next week. So I'm gonna try to get, like, the restream option, and I'm gonna restream and try that out for a week and see how that goes. And I'll probably restream there, and if every restream goes good enough, I'll just, like, throw up the you know, keep YouTube up as a restream. But, like, Twitch is really where I'm going to start focusing. And I hate it, too, because I'll be honest with you, because Twitch is doing certain things that I don't like. Obviously, I've opted out of it and stuff. But, you know, you never know with these platforms sometimes. But it would be nice to see some of my friends, too, that I don't get to see a lot because they're only stream on Twitch. So, like, for example, Yazi, who is a Dead by Daylight partner. See how a lot of stuff that I've talked about is coming on, like, really full circle. Yazi streams exclusive, well, mostly exclusively on YouTube. Not YouTube, excuse me, Twitch. And I go to Yazi streams quite a bit. So, you know, I'd like to hang out with Yazi again. And, you know, there's other VTubers that I've known for a long time that are indies I don't really get to hang out with because I'm always spending all my time on YouTube. So it's like, you know, things are changing and stuff, and I've basically kind of, like, that's why I wanted to tell a story, because this is how you see how originally I started YouTube like 15 years back on my main channel, and then went 6 years ago started Dreadscape Gaming because I had started stuff on Twitch, and that's how on Twitch I got the VTuber start for the channel and moved it over. And, you know, why I don't do as much as Dread as I used to too. You know, things have changed a bit. You know, we'll look at, you know, and it's not even so much, like, also, like, stuff has changed, right? Like, the platform has changed. You know, people want now YouTube shorts, and you have to constantly spit out YouTube shorts. And I've said this before, I hate short form content. I don't like short form content. That's not something I like to do. I don't like short form content. I don't like to make YouTube shorts. I don't like to make TikTok video. I've been doing YouTube so long that we did either stuff in 10-minute video form or long form content. That's how I'm used to making content. That's the type of content I like to make. You know, so it's like YouTube's pushing shorts, and then they want, like, ridiculous requirements where it's like, nah, fam, I'm good with that. I don't want that life. I want to make shorts. I want to do streams. I want to be able to hang out with people and to chat things up and to ramble about things, and I don't want any of that other stuff. That's not what I enjoy doing. So it's gotten to the point where YouTube is no longer works for what I want as a content creator and what I want to do in terms of content creation. So that's why I made the decision in January to go to Twitch. I'll see if we restream a bit, and we'll see how it goes. If not, it's just like 100% Twitch for now. You know, and I think a lot of our content creators have talked about this, and I will agree with it to a certain degree. YouTube, like, between YouTube and Twitch, because they're basically are the only real two platforms you could stream on, realistically speaking, because the rest of them are not, like, realistic options. Like, people tell me Arium, and I laugh in their face, because Arium is never going to be a good platform for this. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's too niche, and you're not going to get people who watch YouTube and Twitch to watch that stuff. I'm sorry, somebody has to say it, but that's people aren't going to watch Arium. So that's not, like, a realistic platform. Somebody gotta say it. You know, so when you're looking at our stuff, it's like, you know, there needs to be an alternative to Twitch. There needs to be an alternative to YouTube. It's not Kick. So what is it? Hopefully somebody creates that platform. I'm not going to, because you need billions of dollars to be able to keep it sustainable. So what you do? We used to have Mixer, but that became Facebook Gaming, and like how I'm gonna do anything on Facebook Gaming, because even to do stuff in Facebook Gaming, there's a fun little fact for all of you. You need to link it to an IRL account. I'm not linking my IRL Facebook so everybody knows my IRL Facebook account, just so I could be able to stream on Facebook Gaming. No thank you. You know, I know somebody, a streamer by the name of Cooley Smiley, who used to stream. She still streams on Twitch. She got her big break on Mixer, and then Mixer sold to Facebook and collapsed. And when that happened, we had to completely rebuild her audience over on Twitch, and not all of them came over, and she lost a lot. That's kind of what a lot of YouTubers now are doing, particularly because now with the YouTube changes, a lot of us are having to move to a different platform and have to rebuild our whole entire audience. And that's scary for me, who has, you know, done this channel 6 years. The 15-year channel is an even bigger scare, because that means I have to make another Twitch channel for that one. That's got way bigger install base. Like, it's scary, because then you have to completely rebuild on the whole entire viewer base. And there's some people who just watch on one specific platform, right? Like, when I do Twitch streams, I'll be like, hey, there's a Twitch stream, guys. And there are people who just watch YouTube, and they have their prerogatives, right? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm not watching on Twitch. I hate Twitch. And that's a prerogative. You can't do anything about it, right? And then there's some people that say, hey, I'm doing a YouTube stream, and they'll be like, the Twitch viewers will be like, no, I only watch Twitch. I hate YouTube. I'm not watching YouTube. And it's like, it's hard to please those people. It's either you restream, and that has its hurdles to cross over, because it's like micromanaging two chats and other things, or, you know, there's obviously extra strain on bandwidth and stuff of that nature. So it's hard to please everybody. But, you know, it's like you can't win sometimes as a content creator, sometimes too. Which I think people who don't do content don't really realize this. It's like sometimes you could play a game because you have fun, or you think it's going to be fun, and viewers are like, we absolutely hated this. How dare you play this, Mr. Streamer? Or then there's times where you just want to stream a game and maybe you don't want people necessarily to backseat you. And then they'll get like really upset. Or there's times you'll miss a chat because sometimes like you're full screened and maybe you can't look over at the second screen, and people get angry because you didn't read their chat or something, and then it'll be like, Mr. Streamer didn't read my chat, unfollow, unsub. And I don't know, sometimes I think people forget because they don't do it from a viewer perspective. This is not a knock on viewers. I'm just saying, because our streamers will probably relate to this, that there's sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, whether it's content, whether it's like a project that you were really passionate about, or like you do something, like even you did a stream and you tried your best at it, and then there'll be some people, you know, there's some people that just like knock you down for it. And it gets, I think that's kind of why a lot of us as content creators get burnt out. Because there's sometimes you can only try so hard, right? You can fight the algorithm, especially on YouTube, but good luck with that at this point. You know, you have to switch platforms because of monetization things, and then like you're monetized on one platform, and then people will get mad at you because you decide you want to stream on the one that you're monetized on, Twitch for me. And they'll be like, how dare you, you know, stream on Twitch with the ads and stuff, you're just trying to chase the bag. And if they knew, like, Twitch payouts are not very big for me. I get like a very modest payout from Twitch every once in a while. So you know, like the most I've made on Twitch, when I really push it, maybe I've made like $150 to $200 on Twitch at best. Like, here's the thing a lot of people don't even understand, and this applies also for like big streamers and stuff. You know those ads that you always complain about? We get paid cents for that. We don't get paid like a large amount. We're talking like pennies we get paid for the impression at best. So, you know, like, before you knock like your Oshis for taking sponsorships and like your streamers for taking like ad revenue, stop and think that in certain cases we're not really making a big amount out of it. So sometimes it kind of, I don't want to say it hurts my feelings, but if we can like be for real here and pull back the veil, sometimes it gotta like sucks for me because I'll be like, hey, I'm streaming on Twitch because I really just want to stream there because I have better opportunities there to do a lot of other things. I get to hang out with my friends that refuse to watch YouTube. And I'll have so much pushback by the viewers sometimes. Sometimes viewers will email me and be like super mean about me because they're like, Dread, you sold out, you're just gonna go and do stuff on Twitch. And it's not like that. I'm just trying to make the ability to do this more sustainable. Which I would hope some people are able to appreciate that. But, you know, sometimes you just can't win as a VTuber or content creator. No matter what you do, some people will get upset at you. I think that's something that only our content creators will understand. Because regular viewers, it's hard for you to understand that, because it's just like, well, you're just playing a video game. What's the big deal about it? Like, you get to sit and play video games, so you have it so tough. No, there's a lot more to that. You know, you gotta micromanage chat, you gotta hopefully put something out that maybe people are going to be interested in watching or listening to you ramble about stuff like this. You know, sometimes you try to be very entertaining. Try not to tell the same stories that you've told a billion times. I've told the same stories a couple times too, right? Like for me, how many times have I told that I like Final Fantasy VII? And how sometimes I feel like Tifa is not the best girlfriend for Cloud. How many times have I talked about, like, doing stuff in journalism, game journalism back in the day? I've told the story about Chinatown Fair a couple times. I told it again today because maybe there's, you know, viewers or VOD watchers that have never heard the story before. No. You know? Like, sometimes you can't please everybody, I guess, so you just try to... I look at it now, like, I try to do content from the perspective of trying to please myself, if that makes sense. So I'll play something that I'm having fun playing. I'll do something that maybe is, like, a little bit off the wall. Because that's the way I can continue to do this and have fun. You know, and like I said with the Twitch, like, I'm going back to Twitch in January. And I might restream here if it works. That's why next week's a test. But, like, you know, it's stuff in YouTube's changing. I'm not a shorts creator. I never want to do that. I'm not a TikTok creator. I don't want to do that. I like to stream. I like to make long-form stuff. That's really my goal. And unfortunately, YouTube's gotten to the point now where I can't do that. It's not a platform that I had and was using to do that type of stuff 6 years ago. It's unfortunate, but like everything, things change. It's scary. Moving over to a new platform, or not really new because I've used it for years, as I mentioned, but moving over to a platform's scary because I have to rebuild things. And I know that there's just some YouTube friends, viewers who don't hate Twitch, they're not coming over. You know, it's hard. It's going to be an adjustment period in January, that's for sure. We'll start playing again. I just wanted to talk about this because I felt like I needed to. Alright. Let's continue, shall we? Alright. Open. Okay, good. I think... How many war plans do we have left? Let's finish this war plans out, and then I'll do a little bit of boss farming for the day. Does that sound good to all of you? Alright. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to cast a Cyclone. And thanks for people that were listening to that. I know that's like a kind of a bit of a somber thing to talk about, but it's just like... I know a lot of people sometimes will be like, Dread, you sound burnt out and stuff, but like this is stuff that I just kind of like have to, you know, factor in when I'm doing stuff. Like, so, you know, all the stuff going on with YouTube is stressful. It is. You know, so a lot of that kind of wears on you, and then, you know, trying to just kind of like mitigate stuff, I guess is the best way to put it. You know, so that when people are like, Dread, you sound a little bit burnt out, it's that stuff kind of has me a certain way, because it's like you work so hard on stuff, right? And then it's like you see stuff going in a direction that it wasn't like that before, and it makes you sad. And then it's like, well, why am I, you know, I don't ever want to get into like that mindset of why am I doing this type of thing. What am I doing with, you know? And I felt like a lot of lately with YouTube, it's kind of felt like that. And the thing about it is, like, there's one person that probably doesn't know how like stressed out and vexed I've been about certain things. And I mean, if they had probably known things, maybe things wouldn't be so messy, you know. It's like, you know, even like the content creation stress stuff has affected our areas too, you know. Like anything, this is like a job too, in a way. Alright. Let's do this. Nice. Alright, back to not gloomy stuff, okay? We'll play the game, but I just wanted to talk today. This is why I play, like, dungeon crawlers, because it gives me the ability to really vent about stuff. And just, like, really yap while I just, like, grind up things, and, like, I'll kid you not, like, right now my brain is completely turned off in terms of, like, the actual game itself, and I'm just, like, grinding nonstop. Like, I'm not actually thinking why I'm playing the game right now. I'm just thinking about stuff. Have any of you heard about the stuff that's going on with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? So, for those of you who know, Power Rangers has been trying to do a revival for quite a while now. I think the last one was for the 30th anniversary. They had the Netflix show. And in the Power Rangers show, the 30th anniversary was going to be like a launching pad for Netflix. And Netflix decided that they were going to pass on a full revival of it, because the numbers for the anniversary special are apparently not good, and they also felt like it was going to just be too expensive to continue to pursue that project. So there was a different Power Rangers project that was in development called, I think it was like, I don't know if it was 4Kids or something Kids, where it was like a web series thing that what they were doing, and I know that had its own controversy because they were using like AI for the Megazord, if I recall correctly, and that show got canceled. And they scrapped that, and that was like a Power Rangers revival that barely got to live. And then the next like revival they were trying to do was Disney Plus was going to do a Power Rangers show from the people who did Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I believe is what it was called. So there was that. And with Percy Jackson, an Olympians creator wanted to do a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers like reboot series, I think. And it was pitched to Disney, and Disney was very interested in it. And what ended up happening was, we got the news yesterday evening that Disney Plus has opted not to move forward with the Power Rangers revival. So it got scrapped. Hasbro, who are the owners of the Power Rangers license in America, have said that they're going to continue to shop around to see if they can get the series made. Disney, in particular, cited that the reasons for why they're not doing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers revival show has to do with the fact that it's too expensive to make. Now, a friend of mine by the name of Goro Maru, who is very famous for Godzilla and Kaiju monster news. If I'm not mistaken, I think he lives in Japan. It's a buddy of mine. Shout out to him. He told me that the reason why it's so expensive has to do with the fact that in America, Hasbro has the rights to the Power Rangers stuff. However, anytime they involve anything with some of the suits and stuff, there is an extra expensive license, to my understanding, that gets attached to the Japanese companies. So, apparently, because of the extra expensive license to the company, you know, because they have to use the Power Rangers suits, then have to use, get paid licensing for a Zyuranger, which is the original Japanese Super Sentai show for it. So, allegedly, according to the information that Gurumara put out, Disney was concerned because they had to pay for the Japanese license to just use the characters, and then obviously they licensed it out to Hasbro, and apparently they wanted to make this like a very big budget Power Rangers Disney Plus show. So they wanted it to have like a budget for something that you would have seen in a FX show. Like, any of you seen the Alien show that came out? Alien Earth, I think it was called? I haven't watched it. I haven't had time to sit down and watch it. I heard it was an okay series. But apparently, they wanted, like, a budget like that for the show. Which I think is insane. Personally, I think if you're going to do a Power Ranger show, you just do it, like, in the 1990s style, where the special effects are like that, with the little pyrotechnics, and you don't do CGI. You do, like, good old Tokatsu, right? Where you do suitmation and stuff for it. Like the monsters and the Megazord, and you don't... And if you do it that way, you can kind of reduce a lot of money in the budget and stuff. I think, like, at least for, like, people of the old school Power Rangers stuff, I think they would just enjoy to see that. I think all of us just want to see a new season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We don't want to see, like, a rebooted stuff. We're fine with, like, the cheesy special effects. We don't need CGI Megazords. We just need to see people going, it's Morphin time again. And, you know, the spandex suits and stuff, they don't have to be flashy. You know, so, like, if you could pitch it to a studio that is willing to, a company that's willing to take it on, Obviously, it can't be FX because Disney owns that. Like, it would be great. I was thinking yesterday about it. I'm like, I think the only place that would be able to afford to do this is Amazon, Jeff Bezos, because he has Jeff Bezos money. But I don't think Amazon would be willing to take on a show of that nature, because to them, I think they would not view a Power Rangers revival as something that's going to be super profitable or something that's going to be able to last a whole bunch of seasons, right? Because when you think about it, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in general, Super Sentai, that's all a very niche thing. That's not something that has like millions and millions of fans. You know, Super Sentai is very popular in Japan, but it's not popular enough that like it's selling out big things. In fact, one of the reasons why they canceled like Super Sentai, and now they're doing the whole Red 25 project, I think it's called, in Japan, where it's like bringing back older things that are not like, you know, Ranger related stuff, is because the Ranger franchise had like lost even interest in Japan, so it's tough. Like the whole like genre of stuff is just not like popular anymore in Japan. And, you know, in America, it's going through its growing pains because it's just apparently too expensive to make. Some people said it would just be better if, like, Hasbro sold back the Power Ranger rights to Super Sentai people. I forgot if it was Toho or Toei. I forget which company is the one that does the shows and stuff. But they were saying, like, if they were able to, like, sell the rights back and they just worked in conjunction, then maybe they'd be able to solve their problems. But I don't know. Maybe there's just no place for Power Rangers in this day and age. You know? I think maybe it's just kind of outlived its thing, which is a shame. I'd love to see a new season, because I felt like the 30th anniversary thing was a great starting point. It's a shame we're not going to get more of it, but, you know, that's the harsh reality of it. It's licensing hell, right? Like, when you think about it, like, look how hard it was to get Godzilla in America for the MonsterVerse, and then to get Kong. Kong is a licensing nightmare, which is why you don't see him in video games like Gigabash, because you have to pay Legendary, you have to pay Universal, you have to pay until his rights revert. Miriam Cooper, even though technically parts of King Kong are in public domain, only the novelization of it. But it's still way too big of a hurdle to put him in video game, which is why you don't see him in often a lot of video games. And then when you see him in a freaking video game, you get something like freaking Kong. Like Skull Island game, that was terrible. That has like worse reviews than even Gollum game. You know, so that's that. You know, it's unfortunate. He's a very expensive license too. Godzilla's a very expensive license too. Like licensing, especially anything that's like movie related or something that's been on television, to adapt everything. Once it's been adapted once, it's just ugh. Like look at Friday the 13th. It's a great example. Friday the 13th, like they have the new show that's coming out, Crystal Lake, right? And like the only reason that show could go forward is because like the rights are split. I won't go into the big complicated thing because I talked about this in previous streams anytime I've streamed Friday the 13th the game. But Friday the 13th for a while was in a lawsuit development hell where there was no new Friday the 13th stuff coming out because the original owner got back the rights to his film. Because here's the thing, in movies, once a movie has come out for 30 years, the script goes back to the original screenwriter. So the original screenwriter was Victor Miller. Victor Miller retained his rights, and Friday the 13th, the other people that own the rights to it, which was the production studio, which was Heart Inc., if I recall correctly, that's what they are now, was Sean Cunningham owned that. So there was a big rights dispute as to who owned the Friday the 13th license. And at the end of it all, the agreement was that Victor Miller owns everything from Friday the 13th Part 1. So Camp Crystal Lake, Pamela Voorhees, thank you whoever that was for the like or follow on YouTube or Twitch, greatly appreciate it. The rights also were split. So anything that's Friday the 13th, Part 1, Camp Crystal Lake, Pamela Voorhees, Jason as a kid drowning in the lake, anything called Camp Crystal Lake, that's all Victor Miller. Then anything that's Hockey Mask Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2, all the way through everything else, is owned by Sean Cunningham. But because there's like even an issue with the mask, because there's certain films that are, to my understanding, owned by Warner Brothers, that would be like Jason X through, I think it's Frey versus Jason. They decide to change the mask to avoid like legal issues, and because they can't really quote Friday the 13th without paying Sean Cunningham, excuse me, Victor Miller for the rights to use it, like they had to work out this crazy deal. So that's why Jason universe exists. So it's just like fascinating all around Dreadknights. But it's a prime example of why stuff. It's so hard to license it. I mean, we're fortunate in the sense that now we get to see Jason universe stuff, and people are angry over it because they're like, "We don't want to see this crap." But you know, that was the only way you'd get to see more Jason in video games and in other things. You know, I'm happy he's in Dead by Daylight. I eventually plan to go back to Dead by Daylight and do Jason rounds and stuff. I just haven't had time. Ooh, we got a mythic that drop on stream, Dreadknights. I wasn't expecting that. That's a happy accident. What'd I get? It's probably something I can't use for the build. No, but it's nice to have it. A mythic on stream while I wasn't even mythic farming. I'll take that. Always nice to get a mythic to end your Twinkle. Shoot for a bit more. I have some time. Dark Howl, don't really need it. Keep the pants in case we'll try to roll for that. Get rid of the rest of the stuff. I want to pick up the lair keys. Nice. What is that? A staff ancestral? Pants. I'll take the pants because the pants could be useful for something. Anything that's blue we can drop, or yellow, because I really don't need it. Just pick up this pants and see if we get like a pants I can roll. You know, so it's just interesting. You know, it's a shame about Power Rangers. I still have to watch a couple movies that I haven't had time to watch either. Like I've been saying, I wanted to watch again Super Mario Galaxy movie. I might have to do a watch along of that at some point, which I'm trying to avoid doing watch alongs because I have mentioned I don't like doing that content. Because I'm not saying it's lazy content. I just don't like to do it because I'm not like really a React Andy as they call it. But I feel like the only time I'm gonna have time to do it with everything in my schedule wise is if I do a watch along for it. I don't know how many of you be interested in watching me do with my film degree breakdown like the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Sister Dread wants to come on stream, so I think I have to finagle the schedule next week because I believe Sister Dread wanted to come on stream for next Tuesday. I gotta talk to her and see. So if she does come on stream, I'll play like some of the internet browser game things that people like. Like I think I'll be terrible at Wordle, but she's really good at like word puzzle games. So we'll do like Wordle, Scrandle. We're doing. I've never played Scrandle, unless you count some of the audience participation that I've done in the past. We'll do Scrandle, and any other suggestion you guys have that you think is like a good one that I should do, I'll take your suggestions for that. Alright. Nice. Alright, I want to take a 5-minute break to hydrate. And we'll get into the next thing. We'll maybe play a couple boss runs. See if we get some mythics that way. And then I'll probably wrap up stream. But my throat is a little parched. I've been yapping for an hour and 30. Give me 2 minutes, okay? Just to take a little bit of a break. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate that. Just wanted to hydrate, take a deep breath. So yeah, you know, I want to watch a Mario Galaxy movie. My sister told me the basic plot for Obsession, the movie, which I think is a interesting premise. It doesn't sound like a movie I'm gonna watch. A lot of my friends are like, "You gotta watch this one, Dread. This is a really good movie." I don't think I'll watch that. My niece has been telling me I have to watch Weapons. I haven't had time to watch Weapons. There are people who are like, you gotta watch certain anime series that I haven't watched. I'm way behind my anime watch list right now, and it's just, again, Dreadknights time. I've been doing a lot of like speedrun stuff and practicing for events and getting ready for certain events that are going on. But there's not really time to sit down and watch movies or television and stuff because I need that time to be able to focus on other things. Unfortunate. Like Spider-Man, I want to see the movie, but at this point, I'm not going to get to watch it in theaters. I'm probably going to have to watch it on home video. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get out to the movie theater to do it. Because I just have a very busy IRL schedule for the next couple of weeks. I have a lot of commitments that are going on too. Let's junk that. Let's do the pit run and finish the war plan, and then the rest of the stream is going to be boss farming. Let me see if I could do this on Torment 11 pretty quickly. If we can, that would be a good baseline, because then I'll just bump up the difficulty setting a little bit more. Let's go through here. Got a TikTok notification of all things. Funny. Alright, let's see. Because I should have a lot of the glyphs now. It should be pretty easy to do T11. Yeah, it's somewhat comfortable. Again, because I don't have the freaking pants that I need. I need a better pair of pants. I need the Tilbolt's Will Ancestral version, but it refuses to drop. Which is why I'm going to try to get some boss farming going after this run. Once we finish the war plans. Good. Nice. I'm gonna do that so we can just get like a little bit of the event done too. The one thing is too, like a lot of people have asked if I'm gonna be playing Diablo IV for season 15. I'm gonna be gone half of September. So like when the season starts, which is right after BlizzCon, I won't even be around. So I don't know, like maybe when I come back from the business trip that I have in September, but that'll be probably like August, and I don't know if anybody wants to watch me play for the season then. Like I've seen what it has to offer. I have concerns about it, like a lot of other content creators that play Diablo 4 have. Like I think some things are too OP. Like I wanted the Warlock to be buffed, but I don't want it to be buffed that where it becomes the next Barbarian, where that's like the only thing really that's going to start taking over. Like I think every class has to be balanced. I think every skill has to be balanced. Also, I've said this before, even with this season, I don't like the way the mythic uniques are handled. Like I feel like there should only be the iconic mythic uniques, because that gave you a reason to go after these chase items. And when you don't have like good items to chase after and everything basically can drop at the same rarity, it's then gets to the point of what's the point in the grind, right? Because then every purple drop that you have, you're asking yourself the same question and feeling that sense of dread of, God, I wish, I hope that this is the item that I need and the item that I want, as opposed to back a couple seasons ago, like season 13 in particular, you had a situation where whenever you saw a purple drop, you'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing! It's a purple drop! Because you knew it was going to be one of the 12 most sought after items in the game, like a Harley Quinn crest, or, you know, well, not anymore, but a Shroud of False Death, or a Tyr, well, people never got excited for Tyr's Wing, or a Grandfather, or a Ring of the Starless Sky. But, you know, they've changed so much of that system around, and it's the Butcher. He might end the run. Don't. Yeah, he's about to kill my run. You son of a... He's gonna kill my run. Oh, no. Move away. Move away. Hold on. I have a plan. Don't panic. Who's panicking? I am definitely panicking because the Butcher's doing a lot of nonsense right now. Hold on. Hold on. I need some help. Thank you, shield. Oh, no. Come on. He is so tanky, but we got him. You're probably like, why am I panicking there? There's a reason. I have a modifier where the Butcher comes out in the pit, but if he kills you, the pit is over, which means you don't get the upgrade chance on the glyphs. That's great if you can one-shot him, Wasn't expecting to see them. But, alright, so we're gonna upgrade this. Put this at, miss chances? No. I don't want to miss my opportunities. Let's increase this. Game. Don't do that to me with missed chances. Okay. Because we want to get these as high as possible. The glyphs. You know, so there's that. So, I don't know. Like, for Season 15, I won't be around for the start of it. And then I feel like unless they change certain things in the PTB, it's going to be more of the same. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. It's like a to be determined basis. Alright, so I'm going to go through here. We're going to do that. We're going to run through this real quick. I'm not going to use a tribute. If I'm going to use a tribute, I'll use it on a lower level. I don't want to do it necessarily on this one. I don't want to really waste the mythic one just yet, because I want to save it. This is also one of my least favorite game activities. I hope, like, for a future season, because they're probably not going to do it next season because they didn't announce it. I would love to see them give us an option in the war plans to delete things from our tree. So, like, for example, I don't like doing Undercity cross runs. I don't like Undercity cross runs. They're not fun to do. I don't like them. It's not a favorite game activity of mine. Some people love this game activity. I particularly do not. And that's my prerogative. I also generally don't like Infernal Hordes. I know Riker in particular hates them. And I don't blame him because it's you don't really get anything beneficial out of doing those, no matter what you do with them. So, you know, I don't care for it. Very nice. So, there's that. So I would like to see them be able to give us an option so that they don't show up in the tree, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay, good. Good. Nice. Grab that. I could go and grab the rest of the stuff, but I'll be honest with you, nothing this is going to drop is even important, so we'll just speed through and out of it. Alright. Let's go through here, go this way. Some cyclones. Nice. Perfect. Perfect. Nice. What's everybody else doing today? What's everybody else I'm going to be munching on, too? Can't wait for my Paneras to come. I really was in the mood for a sandwich today, so I got a Chipotle chicken sandwich, pulled chicken. I also got a tomato and basil soup. I'm really big on soups, like my favorite type of soups. Cheddar and broccoli soup, but I haven't had like a really good cheddar and broccoli soup in a while. And I love tomato cheddar. Tomato cheddar soup is like a guilty pleasure of mine. But one of the only places that used to sell like a really good tomato cheddar soup that slaps was a place by the name of Kale and Hardy, which I believe went out of business. Which kind of sucked too, because they had like a really good beef stroganoff. Like a really, really delicious beef stroganoff. Like it was to die for, in my opinion. Like Kale and Hardy was such, it was just super expensive. It was like considered an upscale soup shop. Because like a quart of soup there used to cost like a tomato and cheddar. How much did it cost? Like almost $20, and this was before like inflation and stuff really was taking over. So, you know. Alright, let's do this. Good. 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 Uh-oh, not so good. We have a lag spike. These guys look fine on my end, so it might be the server doing it. Again, this is a problem with some of these games too. Sometimes I have to probably dumb down the setting a little bit. I'm not gonna do that on stream, because every time I try to like fix settings up a little bit for this game, it breaks something. So I was like, if a little bit of a hiccup I ever deal with that, then like break the whole game, then it becomes completely unplayable. Even though I think that might be server, perhaps. Thank you, whoever that was, for the like or follow. Whoever that was, YouTube or Twitch, I do appreciate it. Let me... Oh, I got 4 already, so I can do that. I could ignore these enemies, but again, remember double XP event. I'm trying to... This is my second seasonal character, by the way, for those of you who are wondering. Because I have a nurse seasonal character. that is a little bit higher up, penetrating shot rogue. We'll probably play them again at some point. I might, depending on what I do on tomorrow's stream, because I do have Mecha Chameleon penciled in. Because I did promise that. I didn't do it because I wanted to play Mendel Palace yesterday. Like, I had to play it. As I said, like, it's one of the things I'm trying to do on my VTuber bucket list of stuff on YouTube before I move over to Twitch. Okay, good. Nice. I'm gonna go through here. And then we're gonna go up here. And go fight the boss. I think then from there, not to be confused with the boss. Yeah. Easy peasy. And squeezy. There's too much going on there. Alright. Open. There's a chest. I just can't see it, right? Or did it open already? Yeah. I see we're lagging a bit. So that might be internet. Let me see. You guys are perfect though. I'm looking at you on my second screen, which is technically my telephone. And you seem fine. So I guess that's just server. Sometimes after a while there is what's considered memory leak. This game is known to have it. I could fix that by backing in and out. I'm gonna hold for that though. Wow, time flies when I play this game. Like, I didn't think it was already at the 2-hour mark, but we're close to it. Alright, so the last, like, half hour will just be boss farming. Just to try to get stuff that I need. I have a mythic of that already. So nothing I basically pick up is going to be, like, super useful at this point. No. Well, this is just material I can dust. Junket. What is this? Ancestral. We'll try to get it for the roll here. So we'll put this in there and we'll remove the affix so it turns into a white. Hopefully we get lucky, but we haven't gotten lucky with that at all today. We did get a mythic to drop though. Just wasn't something I could use for the build. So we'll do a little bit of mythic farming to end. Also, I need sparks to be able to do what I want to do here. All this has a point. Okay. Let's farm for keys. Move that there. That's the next thing I grab, so I get like more resistances to all. And then from there, we just can fix out like the board a little bit more. I'll put it on 10. I think we have enough power to be able to do the boss, seasonal boss I'm talking about, the Corrupted Reaper. With level 10. We have 26 keys. I'm not going to use all keys today. I'm just going to burn keys until I get to 7 o'clock. I think a nice 2-hour grind session is about what I have in me for today. Sometimes I go a little bit longer. I mean, it's Friday, but I kind of want to be able to chill because I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow. That's going to be a long stream tomorrow. Not a Diablo, though. Probably be variety. I'll start with like Mecha Chameleon. Can I do this effectively at 10? Looks like I'm still struggling a bit. It's fine, I suppose. It's not taking that long, but I think we should probably dumb it down a little bit more still. Because I want to be able to do these runs where I'm fighting the boss in 30 seconds, because if not, it's not, like, efficient. And because we're still kind of only Paragon 222 with this seasonal character, I have a second one, Penetrating Rogue. Penetrating Shot Rogue, but I just wanted to do my solo self-found one for today. This is junk. That did not bring me joy. Okay. We're gonna go back to base. I'm gonna dump it down to 9 because it's not gonna matter too much. Because we're just gonna collect sparks. And do like 30-second runs on this boss and burn through as many keys as... Like I mentioned before, when it comes to Diablo, you want to do something on your character where you're blasting the boss in 30 seconds. If you're not doing it, you need to dumb it down a level. Because if you don't, it's just a waste of farming. So we want to do fast, hold on to the ring. Fast and efficient farming. Just get rid of that, get rid of that. Or that. What's this? Garbage, 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 garbage. There's somebody out there that probably needs a Mad Wolf Glee, and I'm just like chucking it in the F-it bucket, as you would say. Alright. So, we can kill it at 10, but it's not going to be fast and efficient. So we'll dumb it down so we can get some Paragon levels by going to a statue that's completely walk past. And we'll also raise our Paragon a little bit this way, too. And we'll farm. I have 25 keys. Let's see how many of these we can burn through within a 20-minute session, give or take. I have to put a loot filter on. I did put one, but it's not working. I don't know why. Somebody said it's like bugged. I don't know if this is true or not. Because I had one so only like mythics and stuff could drop. And it doesn't work. I don't know why. I can't figure out. I didn't want to like troubleshoot it on stream. So we'll just have to deal with... Okay. See, this is the efficient way to farm a boss. Because if it takes like anything longer than 30 seconds, you're not doing it. Alright. Okay, come on. Give me my loot. Give me what I desire. Give me what I crave. Give me what I need. Hey, we got another Ancestral. I think it's the same one we got. Or, Mythic, excuse me. I think that's the exact same one I got earlier. No, it's a different one. I mean, I can't really use it for anything, but I guess it's nice to have it. Alright, let's pick this stuff up. We're gonna do something that I like to call the corner of shame. So, because I don't want to have to constantly be going back to base. Anything that is not white or orange is going to get dumped on the ground here. We'll call it the corner of shame. Continue. I need to get like more cooldown reduction on my ring. That's like the next thing I want to focus on. Cast the Thunder again, just in case. They're gonna nerf, unfortunately, this build next season, which is the reason why I'm still trying to play this one this season, because next season they're nerfing the thing that makes this busted, which is the Shepherd Talisman set, which allows you to just cast stuff non-stop, particularly the lightning. So this is the last time we're going to be able to really see this build, and then it's just going to get like the banhammer, so to speak. Alright. Open superior key. No mythic. Honestly, this is like the best source of farming for purple gear, mythic gear, this season. But it does get kind of tedious, because you're just farming the same thing over and over again. Is this an Ancestral Ring? That's the one I need? No, it's not. In fact, it's a different name. I need this one. The game is trolling me, I swear. Remember, like last session, I was trying to get the ring too. We didn't get it. Let's drop this garbage here. Drop this garbage here. Drop this. Somebody out there that actually uses that set is going to be crying that I dropped it. But for me, it's garbage. Get the unique charm. Let's do another boss. Okay, cool. Bruh. And then we'll just like eliminate this boss easily. Nice. 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 Good. She's almost dead. Refocus there. Nice. Good, 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 good. GG's. Open sesame. Now, anybody who plays World of Warcraft would probably be familiar with boss farming. Because basically what we're doing is we're farming a boss over and over again for the rarest loot in the game. In theory, in World of Warcraft, you farm the same boss over and over again to get like a rare mount. So, I mean, even in older Diablo games like Diablo II, you would do this too. But, you know, I don't know. I would prefer if this wasn't like the main seasonal endgame activity that you had to do non-stop. Because I feel like there's better ways to handle it, but you know. I just play the game. Garbage. Garbage. I'm keeping the rings for now because I want to roll for rings. And we'll also keep whatever's like pants. So I think that's a decent pair of pants. Are we lagging, or is it the game that's lagging? The game is lagging because it's having a little bit of a hiccup because I'm going a little bit too quick for it. I apologize for that. Hopefully you don't see it too much on stream, but no. This game sometimes isn't like super well optimized. A lot of creators have mentioned it before. 2, 3. Yeah. Nothing good. Again. Pass this. Good. This will drop pretty quickly. I could also replace the werewolves to get some more points into grocery rage, which I'm planning to do. I just wanted the werewolves for the aesthetic. Because I wanted to be able to say, I'm running with my wolf pack. Oh, I'm the alpha. Where is this? It's giving me nothing but basura. Garbage. Stop giving me garbage. Give me good stuff. Keep the pants. Everything else can go. Do you think they fixed the loot filter? Should I try it? I'm gonna try the loot filter for the sake of argument. And get rid of this. Why didn't I put this in the box? So this is my collection of mythics for this character in the season. As you can see, it's almost a full box of it. Nothing particularly I could use. It's good. Let's chunk this. I'm gonna try to roll some rings, excuse me. Then the Heroic Cube. Please give me the ring I want. Unlucky. I feel like now they've fixed it where whatever you put in the cube is whatever you're getting back. I don't think that was what it was. Oh well. So we have... This is why we're farming the boss too, so we can have like more stuff. I could get rid of that stuff because I have a lot of the drops. Doesn't really matter too much to me. I mean, at least if I could get an ancestral version of the ring would be nice. Alright, back into boss farming. Give me something good. I need it! I want it! I deserve it! I'm not getting it. We all know that. Oh, joy. More rings are not the one I need. Desire sensor is high today, Dreadknight. Oh man, I didn't want the ring I need. For those of you coming in, this is the ring I need. An ancestral version of it. Preferably trying to upgrade to a mythic unique, but the game has not been kind to us. I think it's like the hardest ring right now to get as a mythic unique for the season. Playing Shred, Werewolf, Druid. So we basically cast a bunch of lightning and use Storm Claw, or Shred as it's called, to shred things literally into pieces. And we're fighting this boss multiple times because it has the highest chance of dropping mythic loot. On top of dropping mythic loot, it has an item which you can use to convert certain pieces of your gear into mythic unique. Mythic unique, for those of you who might not know, is purple gear, which is concurrently the best gear in the game. My character is pretty much mostly tricked out with mythic gear, but it could be a room for improvement. There's always room for improvement with this build. So we're min-maxing. But we're not getting, like, really some of the loot I want to see. And I have, like, a loot filter that's up, right? Let's try the loot filter again for sake of argument, Dreadknights, okay? Just humor me here. It was bugged the last time. But it should. See, I have the rules, but it's not working. And anybody, even in chat, like, this is okay to say it. Why is this rule not working? Because I put everything in. Is it hide all? Maybe that's why it's not working? Just for science, okay? No. See, like, I don't know if it's busted and that's why it's not working, or if I'm just completely an idiot. I mean, hey, I've been kind of dumb at sometimes. I'm not a perfect human being. I have my flaws. Let's try this instead, okay? And see if maybe that is the way you do it. Let's see if that works. No, it just doesn't work. So I don't know why we have a loot filter that doesn't work in the game. Why is it bugged? Somebody explain that. You know? That's why I'm having to pick up a whole bunch of bad loot now. This is useless to me, so what's the point? I'll figure that out off the stream. I don't want us to have to constantly deal with this. But the problem is I'm gonna have to use the corner of shame because I don't want to waste time. Into the corner you go. Into the corner. If it's not white or orange, I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't desire it. Let's see. Pants, we'll pick that up in case maybe something good. Alright, let's go Pandemonium. I have so many keys, it's not even funny at this point, Dreadknight. Cast that again. Okay. Okay, do that to get a little bit more resources. I could do it at a higher difficulty because I have Torment 11 unlocked. But for those of you who probably don't know, like, I'm trying to do this fast because it's better to get more items than it is to do it on a harder difficulty, which makes you spend more time. Oh, it's so crowded, it's not even funny. And I still don't got my item that I desire. Alright. You're probably like, why the hell you have a whole bunch of stuff on you? Because I'm trying to reroll rings to get the mythic I want. It's the only thing that I really care for. We have yet to get that ring. It's been 2 sessions of farming for a mythic unique ring, a very specific one. And we have yet to get it. I would not expect that to have been the chase item of this particular build. That and a Tilbolt's Will, because Tilbolt's Will is just not dropping either, and we've re-rolled it for it in the cube so many freaking times too. Peace out. It's crazy how it works sometimes. Let's see. Purple? And that's unfortunate. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to base. I'm gonna back out of the game and I'm gonna restart not the full game, just gonna go to the main menu. And then go back in and see if I can kind of manipulate the RNG a little bit that way. On top of that, because I don't want to have to play Pickup Simulator. If you get what I'm saying. So you get tired of playing Pickup Simulator. Especially since the damn loot filter doesn't work. I gotta see if I can get a code to fix it. What we'll do... I'm not, like, ending stream just yet, so don't... I'm just gonna back out of the game. I want to do at least 10 more minutes of farming the boss. So we have enough materials so that we can try to roll. I have, like, so many keys, it's not even funny. Superior keys. There's a seasonal event going on right now where you get double XP and gold. So people maybe want to try out Diablo 4. I don't feel like it's in the... It's not the worst state that it's been in, but... I mean, if you're new to the game, you're probably not going to see any of the growing pains with it right now. But... It's not in a It was better in Season 13. But it's not bad for a newer player either, still. It's just, you know, I would say temper your expectations. This is also a game that you wouldn't think it is, but it's a really big time commitment and time sink. Like, you can play for funsies, but it will probably take you a while to, like, really have the game get good, if that makes sense to people. I did that already, right? Alright. I'm gonna go with this one first, because that's a nice little perk to have in the Helltide, where if you die, you don't drop the cinders, which allows you to do, like, harder content without having to worry about that. Alright, let's do keys. Thank you, whoever that was, for the like, follow, comment, whoever that was on YouTube, Twitch, etc. I do appreciate it. Look how cool my character is. Or at least I think he's cool. Okay. Cast this. Cast this. From the key. See, at least there won't be that clutter of a mess, so we can just, like, fight the boss easily. Cast that. Okay, good. Nice. Nice. She's about to drop. Corrupted Reaper is a female character. Where are you hiding? Okay, got you. She was able to move around the map a little bit more than I was expecting this time. Got that. Nice. Give me. Ooh, look, another mythic unique. So these are the chase items in the game. The purple items I was talking about, in case people were... These are the rarest items in the game. Even though they have the highest chance of dropping. Doombringer! Hey, it's one of the 12 iconic mythic uniques. I cannot use it in this build, unfortunately. But it is nice to have it. It's not one of the most useful items, but hey, it's one of the 12 original mythics. That's something. I mean, we've gotten a lot of mythics to drop today, despite the fact I wasn't intentionally trying to mythic farm until the very end of the stream. But hey, it worked out in our benefit. Now, if I could get the mythic that I want, would be nice. Which corner shame, because I don't want to have to keep going back and forth. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need that, don't need that. Don't need... Well, I'm going to hold on to that in case I roll for the Tilbolt's Will, but I think that would be really stupid. Because it's really hard to get a mythic Tilbolt's Will. But we'll roll for some items when I get to the very end of the stream. I just want to get some resources first. Turn into Grizzly Rage. That allows us to do more damage. We're gonna melt this thing. Yep. Peace out. Next. Yeah. Nothing but junk. I mean, hey, there's a lot of Diablo 4 players that would love to have this junk on the ground. Not Dread. Alright, goodbye. Go back to base. I'll pick up that junk just because I don't have any slots. Fight the boss again. Rinse, recycle, repeat. Or wait, that's wrong. Lava, rinse, repeat. Basically what we're doing at the moment. Want to see my box of uniques that I can't really use for the season? Here they are! Look at all these chase items that I got, and some of them are not bad, but they're just stuff I can't really use, you know, because I don't play that build. Except for Mother's Embrace. Nobody ever uses a Mother's Embrace. I mean, I do when I'm, like, trying to grind for my character, but... Harley Quinn we also got this season, but you don't use it on this particular build. Another character would have preferred to have that. I need Tilbolt's Will so desperately. Like, we still haven't gotten the ring. I've been looking for the ring that I need. We're going to try to roll a couple more times to see if we get it now. Just to break up some of the tediousness of this. Like, everything. A Ring of Starless Skies. So I've gotten like 12 iconic... not 12, excuse me. 3 iconic ones. Alright. Let's play some Cube Simulator. Give me my ring. That is not this one. Oh, it's not that one, but it's not the one I need. It's not the one I crave. It's not the one I desire. That's not the one I desire either. Game. Just give me the ring. The one ring to rule them all. God damn it. Wait. Wait. Did that work? Did that work? No, it's the wrong one. I need this one. Mythic Unique. This isn't a bad ring. Because you can use it. But it's not, like... See, this is good for poison damage. So, like, if you swap that out, but we want it for the storm skill. Because, see, it deals bonus damage. So it's not, like, a bad ring, but it's not the one that I want for this build. And we just... This damn ring refuses to drop. I'm crying over here. There's so many of these. It's not the one that I need for the build. I might have to give up on my hopes and dreams of this. It's just not meant to be. I will never get this ring. Let's farm the boss a couple more times. Shall we, Dreadknights? Will you hold my hand? Will you give me luck? Maybe I need the luck of a rabbit or something, because I just can't seem to pull what I need here, man. You know... Gotta get rid of more loot. How much loot do I have on me? All of it, apparently. I don't think I'm even going to try to roll for the pants, because I feel like it's going to be an even worse idea. I'm greedy, because the build is pretty good. It just could be a little bit more. Better. Stronger. What the hell? How did these guys sneak by? In the game I'm talking about. Chunk. Alright. Couple more. I just want to move these out of the way for the box. Alright. Well, how many keys have we burned through? Anybody keeping score? Quite a few at this point. We had like 25 to begin with, so we should be somewhere in the 15 range probably by now. Let's answer that question. Yeah, I was right. Because it costs a key to open the chest, for those of you who don't know. In the 15 range. Nothing good. Honestly, I would even settle for an ancestral pair of pants right now. Let's use another corner of shame here. That is actually the pants that I need. So... Like, I'll take anything we can get at this point that's an upgrade to anything in our build. What is this? Garbage. Keeping those for a reason. Garbage. Garbage. Well, that's definitely garbage. You drop it on the corner of shame. This game is trolling me so much right now. I mean, why that got marked, I don't know. Why that got marked? Oh, I marked that because I wanted to roll that. Okay. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. And that's garbage. That's garbage. Man, I feel like I'm the trash man because I got to take out all the garbage here. Alright. Let's pick up a couple of these things. There's a unique charm there. I'll pick that up later. Let's just burn more keys. Okay. Ripper to shreds. Corrupted Reaper used to be the right-hand person? Technically, man. To Mythic. Mythic, for those of you who don't know, is the final boss in Diablo 3. Reaper's Souls was the name of the expansion. Anybody who's played on Nintendo Switch, it's just an Eternal Collection where they put all the stuff together. I know it's weird to say right-hand man. Corrupted Reaper is a female. Has a female voice and stuff. Another one of those pair of pants? Why can't you give me the pair of pants I need, game? I'm not crashing out. You're crashing out, Dreadknights. Where's the urn? Oh, because there's still more chests to open. I'm sad, because none of those say Ancestral on them. Ancestral's the second best gear in the game. Ugh. Garbage. 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 Let me fight the boss again. We'll have to go back to the blacksmith. We'll open stuff. Saw a dip in stream quality just now. I'm in green, so if you have a problem, it's not me, it's YouTube. YouTube's been kind of sussy-wussy lately. I'm not the only one that's experienced that problem. Like, I haven't even fixed YouTube chat. Because YouTube chat, like, if you try to put it on a thing, it's, like, frozen. Alright, let me go back to base. We'll get rid of some of this stuff. I'm probably going to save a couple keys. Critical strike chance and attack speed. Yeah, I mean... I wish we had a cube recipe that allowed us to upgrade a unique into an ancestral. We don't have a cube recipe for that. We have one for a mythic unique, but it's not guaranteed. Next season, whatever you put in the cube, you'll get exactly that item back. But we don't have it yet. You know? Wrangle. Huh. I knew somebody used to be called Wrangle. I'm surprised to see that name. And the Barbarian carries entire arsenal. Alright. Let's pick this up. More garbage loot. Oh, joy. There's a whole bunch of seals there, too. I can't pick them up because I'm kind of maxed out on the slot for it, so that's why I can't pick this stuff up. Alright, what we're gonna do, again, because the loot filter apparently is broken for whatever reason, we'll leave, we'll go back in, we'll farm again. I'll do maybe like 2 more runs, and we'll roll a couple of the keys. If we get successful, great. If we don't, we'll go cry in the corner. I'm pretty sure we can get it. We jumped up a lot of levels, though. Because we were started at, what, 216 today? So the double XP event, at least in the gold, it's nice to have it. Now is probably a good time for somebody to, like, build a character if they wanted to. Because you could power level pretty quickly. But again, Diablo 4 is one of those games, it's a slow burn game. It's about the journey, not so much the destination. And there are some mechanics that make that journey sometimes feel a little bit tedious, but they've done things to get better with it. But it can be improved on. Anything can. I'm concerned with Season 15, because I feel like some of the stuff they're doing isn't necessarily a step in the right direction, but again, I don't get to make those decisions. I'm not the game developer. I'm just a guy that plays way too much Diablo. And even in this season, I haven't played as much as I normally would. I say that as I have, like, 2 characters that could do Torment 12 difficulty, and they're, like, at Paragon 200 plus. And I'm saying, but I usually play a lot more where most of my characters would have been at, like, 300 already, perhaps. Or at least in the 260 range, but... I'm not saying that the season's bad. This one's okay. Next season, I feel like it's more of the same. But they do have, like, a big reveal coming, so I'm hoping something in the big reveal that they haven't shown from the season is really gonna persuade people, myself, to be a little bit more open to really coming back to Sanctuary again and doing the same thing we've been doing for a while, you know? We'll see. I like the fact that they're adding Diablo 2 items to the game as uniques. Uniques are white for those of you who don't know. And also Diablo 3 items. So like the furnace coming back I think is kind of cool, because there's some builds that are just terrible, right? And the furnace actually is a decent enough item that it will be able to push some builds to be able to push harder content that normally wouldn't necessarily. So I like that. I think that's okay. But I don't really like... It's just everything... Like the mythic goal, because everything can be a mythic. It's not... You know, it's called mythic unique, but it's not really unique if everything can become a mythic. You know? Like, I feel like stuff like that. I like it the way it was in Season 13, where we just had 12 purple items. And those were a chase. I felt like if you wanted to, again, a lot of people have talked about this, Riker talked about it. I don't know if Woody Joe was fine with that, but I feel like if you gave the uniques that are the mythic uniques that aren't part of the 12 iconic a different name, like a primal one, and there's different color and it dropped from a different source, most people would be kind of fine with it. You know, I would kind of be fine with it. Hey, we got another mythic unique to drop. Is it something that's one of the 12? It is a Harlequin crest. Wow. I can't really use it for this build, though. But it's nice to have it. It's actually a pretty decent one, too. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I'm basically purple farming right now, for those of you who don't know. Trying to get the ring I want. Let's go back to base. I might just burn the keys on stream, because it's not that many more keys, so we'll go a little bit into overtime. Just for the hell of it, why not? I mean, it's not going to kill me too much to go a little longer. That's good. I get rid of it for now. I don't really care. Junk it. It's... Everything in that box is mythic. Alright, so I guess I'm going to build the new box of mythics this way. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't know why I held on to that. I think it was in case there were better rolls. Those I'm gonna roll for the rings. I'm not gonna try to roll for pants. I feel like it's just a bad idea. Because it's a hard roll to get the bolts will. Alright. Burn this key. We only have 10 keys left, so it's not that big of a deal. That last item that we got is like the chase item that most builds want to have. Like next season, a druid would like to have that because it's probably not going to be as good. Particularly this build's kind of just getting gimped to high heavens. Nice, nice, nice. Put them in a goal. It's open. Nice. Where's my ancestral ring game? Where's my ancestral ring game? I need it, I want it, I deserve it! Dreadknights, come on. Move some of this junk out of the way. We're gonna put stuff in the corner of shame. So this can go there, this can go there, this can go there, this can go there. Yeah, theme. If it's not purple or white, we don't care. Don't need it, don't need it. Goodbye. The orange I keep only because, like, we can break it down for resources. Hold on to that, because that's actually useful. Again. I'll burn all the keys. And then we'll end on that. Easy. Easy. Very, very easy right now. Nice. Pick up that. Grab the box. Please be the pants. Because I'll be happy even with the ancestral pair of pants right now. You son of a... Okay. It's fine. Jump. Just get rid of the junk and we'll keep going. Never give up. Like John Cena would say. Bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum. My time is now. Maybe if I can't sing the song because I'll get DMCA'd, but... You know. Maybe if I sing the song, John Cena will give me some of his luck. Oh no. I mean, most of the loot we got today is not bad. It's just not useful for the build I use. Where did you go? I really can't see you now. Okay, we're good. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're good. We're good. We're good. We're still good. Okay. More chest. Oh, no. More junk. Screw it. I want to save time. I'm just gonna keep opening without getting any of the loot. Maybe I save some of the keys. feel like we're gonna go too long if I do the other way. Yeah, maybe we should stick to plan. I'm gonna burn keys, but I have a certain cutoff point today. We'll go till either I burn the keys or my cutoff point hits. I never go to that merchant because all the keys that he drops is not like good stuff anyway. Ooh, another purple. It's red and purples. It's an axe? It's probably... Oh, it's not a... Wait. 2 mythic uniques dropped from this. One of them was iconic. That's kind of cool. I haven't seen that happen frequently. I'll get rid of this. Wow. That was a happy accident. Shadowfall stuff is pretty good on certain builds, not this one. Oh, another one. I could roll for better stats. I'm actually happy by that. So I can maybe upgrade, if I get lucky with it, so I have a backup weapon that I can roll to try to get exactly like the stats I want on it. I'll take that. That's actually a happy accident too. That's great. I'm actually not mad at that. Uh-oh. Get rid of that. What the hell, man? Put this in. Take this out. Put this in. I'm happy with that. We had at least 5 mythics drop today, I'm sure. That's nice. Let's get rid of these. I'm gonna roll some rings if you don't mind. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. See if we can get lucky. I have 17 of these. That's not it. I mean, it's bound to roll with 17 of these, right? That's not it. Oh. Come on. That's not it either. If it gives me the same ring... It's randomized too, that's like the most annoying part of that. Just trust the process, okay? I know this isn't gonna make sense, but I need to make box space. So I can break those down into sparks at the worst. Put that back in the box. Because I can reroll an item I have to for that. Okay. Set this. Goodbye. I have to change the pants. And see if we can get the roll on that. Remove the affix. Good. One more that's got to remove. Good. See if we can get Tybalt's Will, please. Oh! Oh! Oh, baby! Yes, let's go. I got the upgrade in here for my pants. Nice! Nice. So it wasn't a complete loss today. Oh, thank you, man. It took forever. It's a marginal upgrade, but it's an upgrade nonetheless, Dreadknights. Let's enchant the item. Because I really don't need on this. Life regen. Poison resistance. Life regen, I'm not gonna need it. Armor? No. It's a pretty good stat for the armor. I can't pass that up. Trying to get like cooldown reduction, ideally. So just trust the process. Cooldown reduction, or like a plus to earth skills too, that are, or not earth skills, like wolf skills that I need would be ideal here, so we're gonna do this a couple times. I'm not gonna burn through all of the resources because we got 5,000 of it, but I'm trying to see cooldown would be ideal. It's better armor, so we'll replace it. 2 to claw is not what I need. I'm gonna go too hard on this, so just keep that in mind. No? But impressed there. I'm glad we got this, though. I will not put into the keep to try to get as a mythic, though. Because you don't get it back. Next season, I'll do it. This season, no. I don't want to run that risk. Can you not get cooldown reduction on the pants? Kind of crazy if you can't. Spirit regeneration free. I feel like that's more important. I can put armor on the pants a different way. That's why I'm not too concerned by it. I don't really like the poison resistance though, but see, I can put the armor. We're gonna roll this a couple times, so trust, okay? We're gonna need to get a greater affix on it. I hope I have enough scrolls to do this. I do. Okay, great. There we go. Greater affix, because if you don't put a greater affix on something like that, I would have put one on, but I kind of bungled it there. Which is fine, because I can always get another one. That's an easy item to upgrade. So, right now, what we do is we take this over to the jewel room. We're gonna put some jewel sockets on it. So we'll put 2. Okay, great. Next, we're gonna masterwork this so we can increase its stats. Put that there. Defensive, armor. Oh, I'm an idiot. You know what I just did? I overrid it because I was... Oh wait, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Alright. Did I mess up? No, I didn't. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I just lost the greater affix because the game was lagging. Sorry about that. We'll get it back. I have the scroll so that I can do this a couple times. Went to the wrong button press because I'm kind of in a, not in a rush necessarily to end. I have hit a little bit of Diablo IV fatigue today. There we go, got it back. Now what I do is I put it in the cube under masterworking. Maximum life? I don't want that. Current generation 5. I think that's fine. His willpower would be nice to have a little bit extra increase to that. But resource management's important. Okay. So last thing we have to do now that we have this maxed out is we're gonna transfigure it where we can maybe get like an increase in stats or extra thing rolled. Poison damage. Actually, that's perfect because whenever we turn Grizzly, it's fine. It's not like perfect, but it's better than what I had. Alright. So now... put these in. For now. I will swap that off a stream. I'm glad we got the pants, because it felt like we were never going to get them. And socket that. What we can do with this pair is we can save it, or we can try to get risky here. You want to be risky and see if we can get the mythic version of it, for the hell of it? It's not going to roll as a mythic. We could do that. But I'm glad we got a significant upgrade, which is, this is one of the things I was chasing after today. Alright. How many more keys do I have left? 7. Let's just finish the rest of this. And burn for the rest of his keys, and then I peace out for the day, okay? I had fun. Yeah, this is... You can already tell the difference in this build. Just from the upgraded pair of pants. This is the thing that makes me, like, so hyped for the games like this. Just those little things when you get the chase item that you need. Alright. Drop it. Okay. I'm gonna star that for now so I don't break it. These can go because I no longer need them for the roll. Pick up the rest of this junk. We got 2 mythics to drop from that too. Another Tyrael's Might, another iconic unique. That's terrible. Oh, Earthbreaker. That's terrible too. We've gotten a ton of mythics. Did they fix the drop rates up a little bit more? It feels like it. Actually, let me hold on to that, because I think I might need that for something. Again. 6 keys. Let's see if we can go fast. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Good, good, good. Perfect. Nice. Let's pick this up. And get out of my way. I can't get to the box. Literally, I can't pick up the box because we have items on our hands. Alright, let's go back to base. I mean, we've gotten crazy good luck with some of the rolls today. But it was an effective farming session. I'm happy. Alright. Get rid of this junk. Clear some space up. And pick up the rest of the junk that I can, because I gotta... Hmm? What the heck just happened? Okay, that's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. One loot filter would just be a miracle right now. That's garbage. That's garbage. Those are... I got an Artibble. We'll save it in case we try to roll for the mythic version. I preferably want a ring, though, to end on. That up. Let's do it again. 5 keys left. Alright, once we get rid of these keys, that's it, Dreadknights. Thank you, everybody that came in and out. Hung out, even if you were here for a little time. I do appreciate that stuff. Okay, good. Nice. Perfect. Open this. Nothing useful. Go back to base. I gotta go back out of the game and back in again. Because if I don't do that, we won't be able to burn the keys because there's just too much crap on the ground. Again. Don't need that. 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 Oh. Holding on to those to roll. Almost done, guys. I have 4 more keys, and then once I do those 4 keys, that's it. We're outie. Once we burn those keys, I end. Because I just like to burn the keys on stream anyway, because it's nice to see what we can get. And I think, like, we had at least 10 mythics dropped, so that's not, like, a loss to me. Because, you know, if you're not, like, getting the chase item gear at the end of the stream, are you even really being an effective Diablo IV stream? I'm happy. I was a little scared. I mean, I would still prefer to get the ring that I need. But I can't complain. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. The rest of that stuff. Get rid of that, get rid of that. I gotta hope on that damn ring, though. One ring could rule them all. 4 keys, so... basically... 2 more boss fights. That's all I have left. Which is fine, because we're gonna end that at like 7:30 then. We'll be good. Perfect. Bruh. Past that. Nice. Perfect. I mean, the thing that would make this stream perfect is if we could get the exact ring we need to drop from him, or her, excuse me, in the next couple seconds. 2 more boss fights, that's all we have left with the keys. We burned through 25 keys, but we got a ton of mythics, so I'm happy with that result. The only problem is, obviously, thank you whoever that was for like or follow, comment, whoever that's on YouTube or Twitch. The only problem is that because I don't have the hold that foot. I don't have Grizzly Rage on cooldown. It's taking a little longer to take her out. It's fine. We'll get it back in a minute. Okay, corner of shame, just because I don't want to waste time. 2. Garbage, 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 garbage. Next time, I swear, we'll get the loot filter to work, so I don't have to go through this manual pain in the butt. Okay. Open. 2 keys left. Terrible loot. A 3-star ancestral ring. If you could just give me that, even for my actual ring. Oh god, it's a mother's embrace. I've never been so angry to see a ring. It's like the worst ring in the game. It's not like bad if you're just trying to get through the story campaign. It has like a use for that, but when you see it in your pulse, okay, next. Final key, so once we do this, that's it. This is our final open, and we'll roll in the cube. I looked away and killed her, that's hilarious. Pick up those spear pants. One last mythic for the road? I've manifested that. We did get one last mythic for the road. What is the mythic, though? You drop those, it doesn't matter. Full arm. A barbarian is really happy somewhere right now. I know exactly what pole arm it is. Okay, well. Got we? Shattered Vow. Yep. It's something. I can't use it, but some barbarian out there would have loved to have gotten that polar. Let's get rid of that. We'll see how many sparks we have, because we can kind of divvy it up a little bit. Alright. Get rid of that pair of pants. So I can put the Shattered Valve in. I like to hold on to stuff because you never know if, like, an Eternal Realm character might be able to use some of this stuff. Because you never know. So that's why I like to hold on to it. Thank you, whoever that was, for like, follow, comment, whoever that was on YouTube or Twitch. Or you subscribed, I do appreciate that. Salvage. Let's see here. So, basically I farmed the boss. We can't do it anymore. So we'll play Cube Simulator, and we're gonna see if we can get an Ancestor mythic version of this, but it's very hard because it could turn into anything. But let's hope and pray. Of course not. Beep you, Dread. I already have it. I'm just being greedy, right? There's so many different things it could turn into. I'm not going to take the risk again. I'm going to try to roll for the ring that I've been trying to get for Mythic, which is that, but I doubt it. Oh man, I need some luck on my side right now. May the goddess bless me with great luck. It's not the one I need. Oh well. Can't win them all. I can't complain because we got at least the upgraded pair during this 2.5-hour session of Tybalt's Will for this build, which is good. If you're keeping track at home though, in case you were curious too, I'll show you how many mythics we've got in today's session. Most of these actually did drop from boss farming, but there was like 1 or 2 that weren't. Like that one and that one aren't. But we can count our loot and we can cry. And then cry some more. So, for today's pull, we got... not that. Anything that was in this bottom row today. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm actually happy about that because I could try to re-roll the weapon and see if maybe I get something decent. 14, 15, 16, 17, don't count that. 17 mythic uniques in about 2.5-hour session. Now, we weren't particularly always boss farming. We were also experience point grinding, doing war plans, but then we went to fight the boss and dropped a good amount of loot. I mean, the main takeaway for today, and this is like, that has me hyped, is we got this. Next time I do play this, which I think will be 2 weeks from now, because I have a special stream week next week where I'm playing classic video games based on cartoons. That are classic cartoons. So 2 weeks from now, we'll pick this back up with Diablo IV content. We will try to get the Dirge of Arda, unless I get it off a stream. Unless I feel like playing it on Sunday, because I might have some extra time to do stream on Sunday. Maybe we try it then. With that being said, though, tomorrow, I will actually be streaming tomorrow. I don't stream on weekends. I'm not sure exactly what time, but it's going to be like a morning to maybe afternoon stream, be a long stream. I'm going to play Mecha Chameleon. I might, like, jump around with different games as well. So maybe we do a little bit of Diablo farming in the mix. With that being said, though, thank you everybody that lurked, thank you everybody that hung out, thank you anybody that followed, liked, left a comment. All those things do help in the algorithm. With that being said, thank you. I do greatly appreciate it. Most importantly, I appreciate you. And I'll see you all for the next one. Till next time, guys.
you.